Fred Cisco!
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then
boom! With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Question mark? Yeah. And Chris, when he texts that is, I think, 100% on delivery. Think?
Yes.
Yeah. When the idea is floated out and he suggests it, and someone, I don't even know if people have to say yes, but I think it's already on your mind. But I think everybody does say yes if it's asked. And then usually they would be in the studio, maybe over here on the right. There's a chance they're in his studio, but usually he brings them in here. And I walked in.
I brought them in the last Friday that you weren't here.
Okay.
And Dave almost did the entire show.
Without knowing?
But like they were like out in front. And he kept on coming into the control room.
I just didn't notice?
I get. And I'm like, at some point, because he's always like first one, like, oh, hell yeah, I'll grab one. And then he just kept on, I'm like, hey, we've got donuts here, right? He's like, we do?
Where have they been? Here since 6 a.m. or before that. So you, I don't know, I don't even know it was the biggest prank, but the pranksters, like I walk into the studio's dark, which happens, TVs are on, but that's it. Lights aren't on. Turn the lights on, get to this chair. And I did take a quick look and I didn't see them, but I was like,
I saw that you took a quick look in here too.
I didn't. I mean, I was looking at you, but I didn't know.
Well, you did, and then you like kind of looked down.
Oh, maybe subconsciously I did. I don't know. But then when I walked in here, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a donut day, and then I didn't see the donuts, and I went, oh, well, it's fine. But I then thought they were in there. Then I thought, oh, you're up to something, but did not anticipate them being seated on this chair. When I pulled the chair out, oh yeah, didn't quite do the same donut dance that I did.
Never to be seen again.
Never to be seen again. A once in a lifetime. Probably would have scored a 10 by the judges if it was an Olympic sport. But can I recreate it? I've tried. And Chris like, no, not even close. Not the same. Well, thank you for bringing in donuts. I haven't even looked at them. Maybe there's not even donuts in there. That'd be the best prank ever.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
I'm sitting here bragging about the donuts the whole morning. And then I open the box and there's no donuts. Best thing about donuts is usually they, that one gets shared around. Like, I don't know. I mean, max for me, max is 2 donuts. One's good. Sometimes like, I'm going to have a second one just because. Or 1.5. But donuts are one of those things I never, ever get for myself. Like, hey, I feel like a donut. I'm going to go get a donut. But it's like, I'm going to bring in donuts to work, to this party, to this function, to something. That seems to be, to me, the way more people get donuts. Am I wrong on that?
I think so. I think it's one of those things of it feels bad if you just get one for yourself, but it feels like you're doing something good if you bring it for everybody.
And maybe more people, like Dunkin' is like, I mean, there's out here, but I mean, America runs on it.
They run on it.
Yeah. And I feel like it's a bigger thing back east. And I can imagine going into work, like people here, Starbucks, whatever, not that there's not Starbucks there. And maybe does Starbucks, I don't even know. Do they have donuts? I don't think they do. I know they have pastries.
Yeah, they don't have donuts.
But Anyway, I feel like if you're getting whatever my regular coffee is every day at Dunkin', I'll get a donut today. And if you're in your car, it's like, yeah, nobody knew that you got one donut because you crushed it before you got to work. But in this case, Chris brought him in. Thank you, Chris. He'll share with the studio audience. Everyone out there listening, you get a donut as well.
Maybe.
We got a jam-packed show today on this Thursday. The Olympics continue. We will be talking about yesterday's day in the Olympics. Certainly today is a big day for some of the superstars. More history being chased down by Katie Ledecky, Simone Biles, women's basketball. We'll discuss some of that coming up. But right now, one of those sports that I think when we've asked the question going into the Olympics, hey, if I was given 4 years to train, which one could I compete in maybe the best? And I think Alan mentioned it. Maybe we brought it up in general, Chris, but race walking?
Absolutely not.
You don't want any part of that. The damage on the hips. And it's on, and it looks like one of those, just by appearance, it looks like we could do it. But I know there's far more to it.
I read in Sports Illustrated, I want to say 2004, before the Athens Olympics, they had a story on a speed walker and just how much of a sacrifice on his life it was.
On the life.
And it was like, oh, man. Like, and it's one of those things of just like, oh, they walk funny and like, come on, speed walking. How is that really?
Well, we've all mocked it.
Yeah.
Right?
How is that actually a sport? And then when you read about it, it's like, oh, this isn't like something to mess around with.
Yeah. And also, let's talk about endurance. Like, okay, you and I doing this, goofing off, going down the hall or in the parking lot. Look, I can do this. Okay, yeah, we've got somewhat the form, the way they're doing it. They're in their approaching their 30th minute consecutively of doing this.
The thing with it is the judges are there to make sure that both. I'm trying to think of the rule. I think it's like 1 foot has to constantly be on the ground.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I mean, there's just an odd look to it. I don't know any other way to say it. I think again, if you see a gymnast do, 3 flips, you're like, I cannot do that. Can I do this? You can, but you're also not like, I could go play golf. I can hit the ball. I can make a birdie every once in a while. I could par, bogey, double bogey, triple bogey, but I'm not doing it the same as other people, as the world-class golfers. So that is going on today. We'll keep you updated on everything Olympics that's in action. Of course, we got, I think, it's 9 hour time difference. We'll talk about yesterday's highlights from the day in the Olympics. Also today on the show, it's Thursday. We will have sports business.
Good at business.
He's good at business with Kelly Brothers. He joins us regularly every Thursday, 7:30. And from Paris, Sam Amick. He will be joining us at 8 o'clock for Sam's weekly appearance. We'll see how Sam's doing in Paris. He's been there a while now, just like Dave. Dave's been gone for a while. He's still got more time away.
Is this week he's actually going to Paris, or
who, Sam or Dave?
Sam.
Where's basketball?
I think he said Lily.
Okay. So he's where basketball
but
is.
I thought he said that it is going to Paris for like the finals.
Oh, maybe it is. Okay, so we're not quite there yet. Team USA played again yesterday. He was there, I'm sure, for that. We will talk to him. All things NBA, Olympic basketball. The women, as I said earlier, play a little bit later today, and they continue their dominance so far. I see good morning to everyone checking us out here on YouTube. This is probably roughly true, but Zebra, regular here, Chris says, a 6-mile run to work off 1 donut, rarely worth it. Well, then I'll have 2, so I have to go 12 miles. I don't know, but the taste is so good. And these are Marie's donuts. We're talking about something else that's like
the best of the best.
Yeah, I mean, we're not dealing with just, hey, how long's that donut been sitting in the grocery store bin right there? Maybe I'll have one of those. Nah.
I was watching them make them as I walked up.
Were you drooling?
No, come on. I'm not an animal.
When do donut shops open? Aren't they open like at 4 in the morning?
I want to say Marie's opens at like 2.
2?
Yeah.
They open at 2. When do they even close?
I want to say like 2 p.m.
Oh, 2 p.m. I think like 2 to 2.
Or maybe 4.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I used to bring him for the afternoon. This all started with Doug Christie.
Yeah. So I forgot this. You've had them before and you told him they were the best donuts in town.
I think it was one of those things of because we were doing, this is during COVID and he was such a nice guy. He somehow got us started having Jamaican food on Thursdays.
Oh, that's right. It was Jamaican Thursday. That's right.
And the nicest guy in the world, he would pay for it every single time, like would not allow us to pay for food. And so then it was one day, it's like, oh, Friday, maybe we get donuts. You know any donut shop? And I said, Doug, I know donut shops?
Look.
Listen.
Yeah. And Doug listened, took you up on it.
And said, this needs to happen every Friday.
Yeah. And that was the thing for a while.
Yeah.
And Doug, who, is a health fiend and all, but he was loving his donuts because they're Marie's Donuts.
Yeah.
And where are they off of? Southside Freeport?
Yes.
Something like that, Freeport? Not that I didn't just look at the address in the box. Pub for them, 2950 Freeport Boulevard. But yeah, Doug would love that. We all love it. I mean, it's donuts. Come on. How about this hot take this morning, right early, from Mark? Pop-Tarts are better.
Wow.
I would disagree with that.
Is Mark from Sacramento? That's the only thing.
I feel like he's just saying that in general, not better than Marie's Donuts, but better than donuts.
Yeah.
But I would say no. I don't know. I think we've talked about Pop-Tarts before. I know we have. The last time I had a Pop-Tart.
The last one I had was at the Madison building.
Okay.
Because they used to be in the vending machine.
We had them in the vending machine?
Well, it's one of those things of like when everything's gone in the vending machine and there's only one thing left.
Yeah, how do you feel about things like I just saw this the other day. We were, what were we making? Some sort of fruit dip like yogurt and Cool Whip. And we had an unopened thing of Cool Whip that it's been in our fridge for a little bit. I go, ooh, let me check. I go, oh, I don't know. And I kind of made that noise and my wife right away went, oh, like, what's the due date? Like June of 19? And I go, no, in fact, November of 25. And I went, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it's obviously still good. My question is, how is anything good that long? And should we be eating that?
It's made up of a bunch of things that don't die.
Exactly. I'm like, now I had a different feeling about adding this to our little fruit dip. But how are you, by the way? I think I'm terrible at dates, like 4 months. Not in the sense of if it's a day old, I start to get weirded out.
No.
I say that it depends on what it is.
I'm good. I always do the smell test.
Yeah.
Because then you read everything and just like, oh, those things are meant for you to throw out stuff early.
Or guidelines.
Yeah.
But I don't know, where's your cutoff if you see something in your fridge like, oh, here's this ketchup, and you go, oh, man.
Oh, ketchup lasts forever.
So if your ketchup bottle in your fridge read, I don't know, I'm going to do something absurd, but let's just say February of, let's give it like 23. So we're a year plus out.
Give it a quick dip on my pinky. Give it a little taste.
And you're like,
tastes fine.
We're good. Come to think of it, I don't know when I've tasted bad ketchup.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think I get rid of it at some point. I'm like, it's been, I mean, it hasn't happened.
Actually, that's the thing that I learned from Bernard Hopkins.
The boxer?
Yeah, because there was an interview that he had, and his big thing was like trying to make every penny count.
Well, I believe in that.
And he was like, he goes, buy everything at Costco, buy everything in bulk. You should never go to a grocery store. He goes, ketchup, buy the biggest one they got, it never goes bad. He goes, I've got ketchup from 8 years ago. It still tastes the same.
Did he have a long career?
Amazing career.
Productive. I wonder if he still has that same ketchup from Costco, that first purchase. Or is he living differently now over the years of making all the money?
I think he's still the same.
Probably is. I mean, if he's praising and preaching that in interviews where he's already started to make some money, I think there's some sense to that. But I guess maybe now I'm going, like, how are you with leftovers? Like, how far are you? Like, we had that on Monday. It's now Friday. I'm not sure.
Couple days.
Yeah. And usually I try to eat everything. I mean, that I believe in for sure. Like, try not to waste food. I mean, look.
Have you ever done the thing with like bread where you make a sandwich, not paying attention, and then you go like to grab another one and you see like a little bit of mold on there? And you're like, oh, No.
Yeah, and so I'm like, some in my family will be like, "Oh, just cut that off." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. Mold on cheese, that can happen, and then you can take part of that off. I mean, that's kind of
Oh, my grandma was big on that.
really, yeah. And I think that's
the cheese in her house just looks so gross.
like, we can. That I don't know how long that's been in there. We can toss it. I mean, hopefully you're not wasting a large portion of any of these things, but that stuff does happen. Mark says leftovers 1 day max. Now I'm not that way. If we make a good meal, and a lot of times when we barbecue or have a party or get together, we just cook way too much. It's just what we do. We've always done it. We usually send food home with people, but then we still have food. So if it's like a Saturday get together, we've made everything, and usually you have a couple sides still left and probably some of the meat you've made, whether it's chicken, burgers, dogs, ribs, tri-tip, brisket, whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to finish that, Monday, Tuesday.
I could say you could get to Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're like, oh, you know what? Let's freeze some of that. If it's for whatever reason getting a little bit too far out of hand, if there's that much left. But generally, we crush it all like we will these donuts. Munch. Toby. All right. Today on the show, as we said, we will, at the very end, we'll wrap things up with Crosstalk. We will talk with Styles and Watkins. We will quiz them on the August 1st celebrity birthdays. We've got this date in sports history. Niners at 9. Who's hot, who's not? We'll look at day 6 at the Olympics. We'll have a Bay Bridge Series recap. Sam Amick, Kelly Brothers, 3 for Madness, Safer Out. Day 5 at the Olympics. We've got NFL tonight. Oh, my goodness. All that and more, including leading off next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
25 meters left for Ledecky to make more history. Won the gold in Tokyo. Is going to back it up again here in Paris. And the greatest swimming machine we've ever seen rolls on to another gold here in Paris with a new Olympic record.
Kind of bringing two things together here, Chris, on leading off. This is a true story from yesterday. When that was on was anywhere between 11:30 and 12:30 in the middle of the day. I can't remember exactly the time. Because the reason I know that, Katie Ledecky, I saw her entire race. I had leftover Chinese food from the night before. I warmed it up before the race. I heard, oh, here comes Katie Ledecky. Perfect. She had just started. I ate lunch while Katie Ledecky swam that race.
Might be the most American thing you did yesterday.
I mean,
reheating Chinese food,
watching American win historic gold. And I was better than Katie Ledecky. I finished my Chinese food before she finished that race. That was incredible. And that was the final. I know in one of the heats or in the heat, I think she won by 17 seconds. 17 seconds in anything in the Olympics is ridiculous. Yesterday, it was the finals. It wasn't 17 seconds, but I think it was 14 or 13. It wasn't close. It was impressive. She got the Olympic record, which broke her own record. She didn't break the world record, which is also hers. She's the most dominant in this race. And again, when you're talking about the best of the best, that was one I did joke about when we talk about us trying to compete in the Olympics. That would have truly been funny to have us in that race to see how many times she lapped us. She did not quite lap anybody in the field, but NBC, there was reports of how they kind of had to install like even a different kind of camera just because they had to pan out so far because you could see her. But if you're trying to see the rest of the field, you couldn't just use their main regular camera that's used for the 400 meter, 200 meter, and all that kind of stuff.
She's so incredible, and it still feels like she's underrated.
Yeah.
Like, who else is getting their own camera because they're so dominant at their sport?
At this particular one. Now, partly because, like, earlier in the Olympics, she only got a bronze. She's still amazing. I think she got her 9th medal.
Wasn't that like a 400 meter? It wasn't even like a long
This is her specialty, obviously. I mean, just the dominance is ridiculous. And I would like to believe, like, if you and I were world class and we're in that event, maybe I wake up yesterday going, today's gonna be my day. I'm gonna beat Katie. Or do you go, I'm going for second? Like, I would hate to have that feeling as an athlete, but you also have to have a little bit of the realization. Like, you dream, you have goals, you have targets, but you're like, I can't do it.
Hopefully she gets a cramp.
Yes. Any chance of a shark? I mean, what do we got here? And that's the way I've always said, like, if you're a basketball player, it's like, I could beat Michael Jordan. I could beat whoever you say is LeBron. I could beat Steph. Even if you can't, you have to think that way. I can hit this pitcher. I can, pick off this quarterback. You have to think that way. You have to have the confidence, and most of them do. But in this case, when someone is that dominant and continues that dominance, man, truly impressive. We'll talk more about the Olympic action, day 5 at the Olympics yesterday. That's coming up, but let's get to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Big chopper. And that's the ball game. Well, the horse does it. The Giants needed a win to make this a 5-1 homestand and to split this short 2-game series and to send this team off on the road with a win.
Yesterday's Giants and A's game would have been the test for me for someone who has been a baseball fan, and this might be you, Chris, and certainly Dave, that has been a baseball fan, that has lost some of their love for baseball, and some of it has been season's too long. Well, that I couldn't change for you. Games are too long. Okay, this one yesterday was under 2 hours. Game is boring. I don't know where you'd fall in line on a 1-0 game. I mean, I'm a baseball fan, so it doesn't fit for me. But like the quickness, it was done. That game, I picked it up in like the 4th inning. It was kind of going off and on between that and the Olympics, and most of the Olympic stuff was repeat. So I was going back to baseball. I'm like, oh my gosh, 7th inning, 8th inning. Well, I'm going to watch the rest. Oh, is Logan Webb going to go the distance? He went the distance. This is under 2 hours. But when it's 1-0, any batter can tie it. There was a 2-out hit. And I'm thinking, oh man, is Logan Webb going to go the distance and then give up a 2-run home run? Nope. He got out of it, wins the game. Big win for the Giants. 1-0 was the final. All right, let's get to cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
Are you ready for the football? Yes, we're ready for the football.
SNL?
Correct.
I hear Will Ferrell. I could hear him in there.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who else is in there.
The lead person was Chris Farley. He was hosting. He was playing Hank Williams Jr.
Okay.
Also Tim Meadows, and who is the one that he used to do the singing teachers with?
Tim Meadows would?
No, Will Ferrell.
Oh, Anna Gasteyer?
Anna Gasteyer.
Okay. Nice. Are you ready for some football? It's tonight. The Hall of Fame game. We've got football, kind of. We'll explain that a little bit later in the show. But yes, it's back. We've got football from here till the Super Bowl. We've made it. We've made it through that portion, waiting for football. It is back with the preseason. beginning today. So you got baseball still going, the Olympics, NFL, always NBA on your mind. All sorts of things to cover today, including one of our regulars, Family Schlegel, suggests now you know what Olympic sport you could do, J. Ross. Is that what, me eating leftover Chinese food? Was that the sport?
And just to put in perspective, the speed walking.
Yeah.
The 11-kilometer, the leader was at 44 minutes. I did the math on that. That's about a 6.5-minute mile.
That they're walking. So in general, this again, I think is a generalization. So not always true. But if you went like you and I, like, Chris, let's go walk for a mile. Just most people's pace, 15 minutes.
Yes.
They're doing 6.5, and they're not running. Obviously, they're walking fast.
6.5 mile is a great running for a marathon.
Fantastic. I don't know if you had this in high school, but for whatever reason, and we just talked about it because we got our buddies together. Most of us all played, I think 4 of the 5 of us, played basketball. We had to, it was kind of our time trial condition. We had to break 6-minute mile.
I want to say the best I did was 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
And I hated every second.
Oh, my gosh. I remember one of the times I had some, what's that called? Like where I was vomiting, but I didn't have food. It was like bile. It was just like internal. Yeah, it was gross. Gross.
Stinky.
In that. Where you're just to the point of exhaustion. I'm like, I'm not a track athlete. This is like, I'm trying to play basketball. You get why you want to be in condition, but man, we had to do the 6-minute mile.
Did you see the triathlete?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Same idea.
He was puking.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, then everyone's just like, was it because of the water?
Oh, no. Did they ever find out?
I don't know.
Yeah. Don't drink the water. Well, good morning, everybody. With that note,
have a donut.
I think I'm going to have a donut here in the break. All right. When we come back, still to come, safer out. But next, day 5 at the Olympics. Yesterday, another pretty good day. Men's basketball took care of business. A little different lineup. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss more of that with Sam as well. And Katie Ledecky's legacy continues to grow. More of what happened yesterday at the Olympics. That is next on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I'm a very active person that likes to move around and go. The pain I was in was really excruciating. It was actually debilitating. I was basically heading towards a sedentary lifestyle. I had really tried everything, but I quickly lost hope with all of the things that we had tried, and that's what led me to the Good Feet store. And when I found the Good Feet system, it really just changed everything. It brought me back to life. I have my active lifestyle back.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's alsco.com.
There was always a crowd gathered around our dining table when I was growing up. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Everyone was welcome at my mother's table, so holidays, birthdays, and celebrations always included family and friends. I used to think I was the most popular kid in the neighborhood until I realized that my friends were really there for my mother's incredible cooking. Years later, when I bought my own dining table from Naturewood, I made sure it was large enough to make friends feel welcome. And right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings Dine in Style sale, you have an opportunity to find the perfect dining room furniture to help you create your own treasured memories. Choose from casual to formal or anything in between. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings during the Dine in Style sale off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Just saw the second consecutive race walker go into the penalty zone. So maybe they were 2 feet off the ground. I don't know. Penalties. Get in the penalty box. What's in that box? 57 minutes.
At least it's
in.
not like the biathlon where they make you walk more. Like if they have like a circle, you have to walk
You have
around
to go
it.
a little bit longer. You have to go around the car. Quarterfinal action in table tennis going on. They're playing a different sport as well. Man, the quickness, the intensity, the pace that they have of that. Impressive. 339-1140. You want to text in on the show? 1-800-920-1140. YouTube chat right there on Sacktown Sports, our YouTube page. Hit that thumbs up button while you're there. Hello to everyone. Good morning on this August 1st. We do have football, the Hall of Fame game tonight, as it's the Bears and the Texans. We're going to talk a little bit about that coming up at the top of the hour. But yesterday, to me, I've been totally entertained by the Olympics. I'm a little bit floored by those that aren't, and if it's for any other reason besides, I'm not doing anything political, any of that stuff. I just enjoy the competition between countries in the sports, whether it's individual or team. Stuff that I normally don't watch that I've seen a lot of tweets about, which has made me laugh. It's like I never watched gymnastics, and then I'm like, oh my gosh. Can't believe they didn't hit that floor routine. It's like we all instantly become experts, or we start to talk about what we think we see. Yeah, oh, that's going to be a deduction. What do I know? But I've been checking it all in. Yesterday when we were on the show, we were watching Team USA in volleyball, and that trend continued, Chris, with the women's U.S. team and even the volleyball matches we've seen on the indoor. USA was up 2-0. On Serbia. Serbia is one of the better teams. Serbia won the next two. And I think when we signed off on the show yesterday, they were losing in the fifth set. I'm like, oh, man. I was even in here with Styles and Watkins just starting to go, I don't want to see them lose. I was being a poor sport, left, went into the office. You and I were talking in there. And then it's like, hey, they won. So saw that a little bit later in the day, the replay of that. That was great, Team USA. Men's hoops, another victory. We said Jason Tatum was going to get some run. He did. He started I won't even say not casualties, not even the right term, but the person that didn't get the opportunity to play was Joel Embiid. And I said that yesterday. If you look at the slow starts for Team USA, which they got off to a better start yesterday against South Sudan, they won 103-86, favored by 30, won by 17, got a little interesting, I would say, down to about, I think 10 or 9, something like that, 11. Tatum started with LeBron. AD gets the start, Booker and Curry. So they didn't go 3 guards. They went Tatum and James. And then we did see Tyrese Halliburton get some run. Played about 8 minutes, the least of anybody. But did his usual thing, had an assist, 6 points. He did great. Everybody scored. Leading scorer yesterday was Bam Adebayo. He was kind of the difference maker. Missed just 2 shots, scored 18 points off the bench. And the big man that didn't play was Joel Embiid. So to me, it's about winning for them, chasing the goal of gold. And they got it done 103-86. So they're now 2-0 in Group C. Still the heavy favorites, but the competition is going to continue to get more and more difficult as the Olympics roll along. But Bam was terrific yesterday. Also, as far as events that went on yesterday, more basketball, our guy Jimmer in 3-on-3. The men's team lost again. The women's team in 3-on-3 also lost. I think, Chris, we're a combined 0-5 in 3-on-3.
Jimmer seemed to have a
groin injury.
Yeah. Hopefully he had a groin injury.
That was an interesting video of Jimmer being attended to in the 3-on-3. It's funny. I don't think a lot of people looking at it through social media knew that Jimmer was on this team because now there's the jokes come out like, why is Jimmer Fredette on our 3-on-3 team? Why can't he be? I don't know why people have an issue with that. But they think they become an issue when you're not winning. He hasn't had the success of a guy that's trying to find it again, like Chase Budinger, who went from the NBA to beach volleyball. So you've got that going on yesterday. You also have Coco Gauff losing again in tennis. So she was eliminated. No medal for Coco, one of Americans' great tennis players, just on the tour. And that's, I think, Chris, you brought up that point. And it's a good one. Like golf starting today, when we already have the best of the best competing consistently, that in those sports like tennis, like golf, like some of these things, maybe we talked about it in the bike racing and that some of that where they all already, that's how they compete. It's a little weird. Like, I don't feel any different about Coco Gauff. It's like if she had won a gold medal, that's just cool. That's an add-on. But it's probably for her and for us, how we measure greatness in tennis is golf major. I mean, tennis Grand Slams. And so they already compete with all these people. It's a little weird.
It's kind of like the ESPYs when they're like, best football team.
Yeah.
Like, we literally played for this.
Yeah. It's like, oh, the Chiefs? Wow, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, they won the Super Bowl. Like, how was it not them? Would have been the Niners if they won. Yes. So a little bit weird, but she did not get a medal. She is out after losing her second match in tennis. Also, we talked about Katie Ledecky yesterday and watching her swim, watching her race, even the form that she does. It looks like I was trying to really watch that in her 15, 16-minute race, whatever it was, where it is predominantly just her arms and her legs are just doing this small little, not even every arm stroke wasn't even getting a kick. It was like every once in a while they're just kind of going along, and then she do a couple of quick little kicks. And that was an interesting post interview with Melissa Stark when they got to Katie Ledecky. And sometimes I don't think they give them enough time. Like, she gets out of the pool and they go to interview her and she's like, I mean, she's still breathing heavy. I mean, she just was swimming for 15 minutes straight, basically a sprint for her version of this. And when you're going up and back, or maybe 4 lengths, up, back, I think it's all about technique, speed, timing. Maybe you're taking a look at peripherals or whatever, and flip turns. You're just really concentrating on everything you're doing. Katie was very honest in her interview. She's like, yeah, I allowed my mind to wander, and I was thinking about all the people. I mean, when you're going for 15 minutes, and I just think about if you do anything, if you go out, if any of you are joggers or bike riders or do anything of somewhat endurance, of course your mind wanders. You're like, a lot of you probably are listening to music and maybe a song comes on and it takes you to a place, or I like this song, or this reminds me of something. But it was a very honest answer. And she's like, I was thinking of all the people that have helped get me here. And, the people that she said, the guy she trains with in Florida and all the work they made her do and how tough it was. And she goes, I was just thinking about all of them. And you just go, also, when you're doing that and you're Katie Ledecky, like, you're going to win. And at some point when like you make your turns and you're gaining more ground and like that last 100, when you're doing your flip turn and you're probably almost halfway back up that other direction, and here come the other people, you're like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to win.
I wonder what she could do if there's someone close to her that was pushing her.
Yeah, if there was another Katie Ledecky type,
yeah,
like where would they put that gold medal? Because that's the one where, I'm sorry, the world record. She didn't get the world record. She got the Olympic record, but the world record was still about 5 seconds quicker.
Who is that?
It was her.
Oh,
yeah. And you just go, what happened on that race? Why was that so great? You're right. Like, Chris, if there was someone, even if it was, where maybe she wasn't going to lose, but like, hey, she won by 3 seconds. It's like they were pushing her enough. But yeah, you just get, you can't even think about the competition. I think you just get into your rhythm. And what they did show, which to me was fascinating, and it was her splits, like her up and back, was basically every time like some version of 31 point something seconds. 31.6, 31.4, 31.1, 31.6. It was just like the consistency of what she was doing every single time for whatever amount of laps that was. Just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
Still, I don't think she gets the credit.
Exactly. How about swimming? How much do you think you could do of that? When was the last time you did any?
I could probably do an up and back.
Yeah.
Did you see Snoop Dogg with Michael Phelps?
I saw NBC maybe had like a flash package of different things they did. And they showed like, oh, he was with, but I didn't see what did they do?
He was just like showing him the
strokes or something.
Yeah, just like the different types of, you want to do this, and stuff like that. And he was going up and back in his pool, which isn't like an Olympic sized pool.
Yeah.
And like he comes up, he's just like, oh,
Snoop.
yeah.
Well, the one that gets me is when they do their flip turn and then they're underwater, like they're trying to get under the wake basically, and they're just doing like those kicks, and some of them go like a quarter of the pool, and you just go, and then you just have to pop up, get your breath, and just keep going.
Yeah, it seemed like Phelps was most of his swimming. Was
that how long is he underwater?
Yeah.
And they're just so long and just incredible. So Katie Ledecky, one of the stars of yesterday, winning yet another gold. We will talk a little bit more about what's to come up today later in the show for day 6 as it goes on as we speak. We'll give you an up-to-date medal count as well. But when we come back, we've got safe or out for you. 3 questions. We'll give you our answers on safe or out, including what Logan Webb did last night, how impressive that was. And will we see that again for him or for the Giants? We'll talk about that in safe or out next.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
When your game goes bad, getting back to basics is the quickest way to get on track. Many problems can be traced to forgetting the first lessons a good golf instructor covers: grip, alignment, and posture. If you're not holding the club properly, if you're not aligned to the target, and if you're not in an athletic posture when you take the club back, you'll have to manipulate it somehow to get it back square to the target. That's when bad things happen. When I find myself leaving shots out to the right, I check my grip on the club. I check to see that I'm holding the club lightly in my fingers and that my hands are close together. Check to see that the V's formed by my thumbs and forefingers point to my right shoulder. Take a practice swing and feel as though the hands are working together and turning over naturally through the impact area. Bad alignment makes a good shot go astray, and bad posture makes it difficult to generate club head speed. If you're having similar problems, a brush up with a PGA professional will get you going again. For Golf to Go, I'm Frank LaRosa.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
10. Nice work. Thanks. Taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas, right?
Yes.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yes. Nugenix is a great way to feel stronger with more energy and endurance. And as Frank says, you'll like it too.
Text radio to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix. Text RADIO to 321-321. That's radio to 321-321.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Sacramento, Dierks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
We do have NFL action tonight. Preseason begins with a Hall of Fame game. We've got that coming up at the top of the hour.
Which you can listen to right here.
Tonight's game?
Yeah.
Right here?
Right here on Sacktown Sports.
How about that? We love it. I love it. All right, let's do safer out, Chris. What do we got for number 1?
Revised from a previous safer out where we asked if the White Sox would win 40 games before losing 100. Safer out. They will lose 100 games before winning 30 games.
My gosh. Because they did lose again yesterday. Losing streak continues to roll for them. Not that they're proud of it. Officially, their record now, they stand at 27-84. So they'd have to lose 16 more games before winning 3. That sounds ridiculous, but let's keep in mind they've lost 17 in a row. I'm going to say out. I don't think they get to 100 losses before they get to 30 wins, but it's going to be a close race.
Especially if the roll they're on.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Man, you don't want to be the team the rest of the way that loses a series to the White Sox.
That's the tough thing when you're on these losing streaks, is because teams almost like step it up another notch because like we can't let them get one on us.
Yeah, and baseball, I would say, still is one of the weirdest team sports in that obviously the White Sox are terrible. They could play the best team in baseball, and the best team in baseball could get swept by them. It's just the way it works. You don't hit their pitcher, or you do hit the pitcher, but it's just going to the fielders, so they make all the plays, and you're getting broken bat single, whatever the case may be. You get a timely home run. I mean, it's not like they can't do anything. They're major leaguers, but I'm going to say no. What do you think? I'm going to say out.
I'm going to say safe.
Safe?
They're just...
And we had it, they're going to 40 before 100. Now it's 30.
This is why, like, when you're talking about teams are going to win an amount of games, teams are going to lose an amount of games. That's why I think you have to be a little bit insane to be like a huge baseball fan, like living and dying by each game, because an amazing team will lose at least 60 times.
Yeah. Well, that used to be the saying. That's what I think it was Whitey Herzog would say. Look, everybody's going to win 60. Everybody's going to lose 60. It's what kind of happens in the other, 42? But I think that number's had to change. I mean, in this case, there's no way they're going to win 60 games. There's no way. And we're questioning whether they can get to 30 games now before they lose 100. Man, what a brutal stretch. They lose yesterday. The White Sox now have lost 17 consecutive games. All right, let's go to number 2 and safer out.
Safer out. The Orioles handled top prospect Jackson Holliday the proper way.
Well, he was, 2 of 34. He was the featured prospect. He couldn't do anything right. He got 18 strikeouts first time up. They sent him back down, went back down there, was crushing it. So they just brought him back. Yesterday was his first game, and
Holliday drills it. Right field, down the line. Grand slam. The happiest of holidays.
oh, that's a good celebration to see on the YouTube from Chris. That'll show up a little bit later in streaking.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Well, you and I were trying to see how that game was at 9:30, a weird start time. We had heard about his first 2 plate appearances where he's 0 for 2. I'm like, oh, man, Chris, you went to Holiday. I think that was the right pick. Got to get you a hit. Grand slam right there.
Just how he wrote it up.
Exactly. I think the answer, I don't even know if it's safe or out. I think that's to be determined. And I think the weird thing about handling of a top prospect, of a number 1 pick, of a whatever it might be, I bet there are success stories and failures on each realm. Like people that have been thrown into the fire that it was the wrong thing to do and it didn't work. People that have been thrown in the fire that thrive, that will go, man, that was exactly what I needed. I just needed to learn by example. Flip that to, they were patient with me. That's exactly what I needed, or I didn't need that at all. I wanted to go. So, like, every example has been plus and minus on that.
I want to say with the Red Sox, they brought up Pedroia with the in September with the rookie, with like the expanded roster, and he was awful. I want to say he batted like around 100, and everyone's like, "Whoa, is this not the guy?" And then he comes back and gets Rookie of the Year, and just like kills it.
So again, you can do like Holiday is still the number 1 recruit, number 1 pick, number 1 prospect, and everybody believes he's going to be great. But he did go through the 2 for 34, and then here he is called up again, put down in the bottom of the lineup, given every opportunity now to just kind of blend in. They've made some trades. Orioles are going to feature him now, and he crushes it yesterday with the grand slam. That was awesome, and good to see for him. Probably good to see for his family of Oriole fans. They needed that. He needed that. So congrats to Jackson Holliday. Jackson. All right, let's go to number 3 and safer out.
Logan Webb pitched the Giants' first complete game of the season. Safer out. This will be the Giants' last complete game of the season.
Well, I would say that's safe. Consider they've had one. What I have the other day, there was like 21 all season.
Yeah,
complete games. It's his second career shutout ever. Yeah, I'm gonna say safe. I don't think there'll be another one. I think Giants fans should have enjoyed that. It was pretty cool to see. He had not been pitching that well, and it was also refreshing to see Bob Melvin and the pitching coach and everybody else for the Giants and the staff like not even flinch. I'm sure. When I was watching it last night, they got to the ninth inning, and he had 2 outs. The stadium's up. They're anticipating, it's ending here, and then the A's got a hit up the middle. It's like, oh, man, now you're a mistake away from maybe losing the game at 2-1. I feel like that next batter, and it was Seth Brown. I think that was his last one he was pitching to. Duvall was up, but it was like there was nobody panicking. It's like he was barely over 100 pitches. Let the guy pitch. I'm glad they did that. And to me, that's refreshing because more times than not, Chris, we're seeing pitchers, if we're lucky to get to the 5th inning.
That's the whole strategy as of right now.
Yeah.
So, and the thing I don't like is just it's just a different way of thinking. Like, I know people don't like the opener type of.
Yeah, I don't love that either.
But, I mean, it's just because that's not how it's been all the time.
Yeah, and all of us, like some of the stuff, like when they had the shift and different things are now – stolen bases are making a comeback, but I would say the last 4 to 5 years, it was like it's just home runs. Nobody's stealing bases. Baseball's done differently. That's not the way they do it. Well, that's not the way they did it. It's now different. Now, do you feel that same kind of frustration? Because I don't with basketball. Basketball's different now.
Oh, wait. I guess my frustration would be in basketball that a lot of the mid-range game is gone.
But do you feel like it has the same vibe that I don't feel like it does with baseball?
Yeah, because on the other thing is like when basketball had a great mid-range game, it was slow and methodic, and
so maybe we think this is better and the baseball version's maybe not.
I would guess so,
because the only time I feel that way where like literally I'm at a Kings game and it could be the other team, but usually I get more frustrated if it's the Kings and it's like a 3-on-1 and there's a layup or a lob and the 2 other players fan out to 3, and I'm like, and they get a 3, and they make it a lot, or they don't. You're like, wait, you got 2 points.
The funny thing, that is total like NBA Jam strategy, where if you're playing your friend and you do that, they're just like, that's not realistic. That would have really happened in a real game. That.
Except for they do now all the time. It's like 3-on-1. Go get a dunk. Go get a layup. Go get something exciting. Oh, fan out to 3. Okay, well, I'm glad you made it. Or you missed and you just missed an opportunity.
And what's funny, in 10 years, you're going to have people yelling, why did you go for the layup? You had a guy wide open in the corner.
Yeah, numbers makes 3's worth more than 2. It doesn't make sense to take that 2-pointer. Like, well, it's points. And you don't always make every layup or every dunk, but more times than not.
If you don't pull up from 4.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't pull up from 35, it's just a dumb play. Oh, my gosh. But yeah, baseball, I find that to be one that has agitated more of the older baseball fans, and I guess that's where I'm at now, sadly. But I thought last night's game was great. It was refreshing. It was a fun watch. Good competition. I mean, there was no real frills or great highlights. The run came on a sac fly for the Giants. I think it was the 4th, 5th, something like that. And after that, it was actually good pitching by the ace pitcher, Ross Stripling, and Logan Webb was fantastic. Complete game, shutout, scattered 5 hits. Got it done. Absolutely got it done. So it's a fun watch, a little different way to look at it. Safer out. There you go. Looking at the day's events yesterday. All right, let's get you caught up on what's coming up still here on the show. It's a busy 7 o'clock hour straight ahead because we will get into a little bit more on this Bay Bridge series, what that meant, and some audio coming up in the next hour about the A's future and how a former A is pretty outspoken on what he thinks might happen in the time in Sacramento. So we've got that coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Also in this hour, we got to go sports business on this Thursday.
Good business.
With our guy Kelly Brothers. He will join us. We will have 3 for Madness. But when we return, it's back. The NFL Hall of Fame game tonight, which, as Chris mentioned, can be heard right here on Sacktown Sports. We'll have the outlook on the Bears, and the Texans as they kick things off with the Hall of Fame game. The NFL is back. Let's talk about it when we return here on Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Hey, get ready to rock, groove, and have a blast with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an unbeatable lineup of shows that you won't want to miss. It's Brett Young and Chase Rice at Thunder Valley on August 3rd. Plus, Jason Mraz and the Super Band will be rocking Thunder Valley on August 9th. Then head out of the heat to higher elevation for the Truckee Music Festival on August 9th and 10th, featuring Kip Moore and Sublime. And here's your Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater, featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. On August 15th, catch Donnie Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Then, on August 22nd, Creed Fisher takes the stage at Ace of Spades. And on September 10th, enjoy the timeless sounds of the Doobie Brothers at Toyota Amphitheater. Rounding out this rockin' lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival from September 12th through the 15th, featuring Joe Nichols and Smash Mouth. For information and tickets, visit grapefestival.com. And then stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, here we are for the second hour of this Thursday, August 1st show. Jason Ross, Chris Vlog, Carmichael Dave still on vacation as we continue here on Sacktown Sports. 339-1140. You like to text in on the text line. Also, 1-800-920-1140 if you'd like to get in on the phone lines. YouTube chat, it's all available there for you. Those of you checking us out there, please hit that thumbs up button when you get an opportunity. Let's see, from the text line, rando question. Do you guys do any same-day spoilers for the Olympics or just day before? I've been on the show hiatus because of that, but having withdrawals, LOL. We have been saying what's going on.
Yeah.
When it's happening. But I would say for the most part, Chris, by the time, I don't know that anything, I don't want to say anything, but of the most dramatic news is right about when the show is over to the next, really during Styles and Watkins.
Yeah. I want to say, we've had the volleyball games.
Yeah. Some of those things.
The one I would say that we kind of could have been, quote, spoiler for was the women's rugby.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that technically ended the where they medaled was after the show.
Yeah.
But today, like Simone Biles, I think will be starting around 9:30 our time, 10 o'clock. So, about a 9-hour difference that's going to be featured there. And then, of course, as it's been packaged by NBC, you'll see it later tonight if you want to see it that way. But I don't know. For me, it's really hard to avoid the spoilers. It's impossible. I do look at social media. I do look at the internet. I do watch the TV. It's on. So I've gotten into a routine of watching it during the day. And if some of the stuff was so cool, I'm like, I want to see that again tonight. Then I watch it again.
Now I'm thinking, is it hard for someone that doesn't do the work that we do, because we constantly have to be online,
right?
Just in case, the Kings just sold to an Abu Dhabi prince.
Yeah, it's you got to know. I don't know how that's done. I mean, not everybody is on social media, so I don't want to be as naive as that. But I also think I think on the TV, they've on the scroll, if you're watching ESPN, let's say, or pan through, or maybe even, I don't know, if you're watching news and CNN may go, hey, Katie Ledecky has just won that's not featured, but they might break in with the biggest stuff. Are
you good at watching recorded sports though?
Am I?
Yeah.
I've done it more than maybe some do. Uh-huh. And I'm okay. Actually, I've enjoyed more so sometimes when I try not to know the outcome, but it's really hard. And I can't think of a great example, but what it might be is hey, I've started a game. I'm going to head out for a little bit. I'm now recording because I don't want to miss. I know we're going to end up talking about it, but also then I'm out and about. I'm checking the score. So when it's weird is when when you get there and then now you're watching the game, you're like, wait, they were down 8 when I saw the score. They're up 16. How does this happen? And then you obviously see it happen.
This tells you how long ago it was, but I used to videotape the Red Sox games as the beginning of the year as a Red Sox Yankees. And so they already lost 2 games at the beginning of the season. They lost 2 times to the Yankees. And at my old job, it was an old sack. I was walking somewhere. I had a Red Sox shirt on and some guy's like, hey, did you see what happened to the Red Sox? They lost again today. And I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm like, I don't know who you are. I'm like, why did you tell me that? He's like, oh, I thought I don't know. And it's just so I'm furious. I go upstairs. I look online. I'm like, okay, well, what was the score? The Red Sox won in the 9th inning. So I was furious.
Even
I was
more angry.
So mad.
So you think they lose, then they win, but you're mad at the person.
Yeah, because I didn't get to enjoy it.
Right, man. And what my favorite one about all that is when I remember I was golfing. Was at a Wild Hawk golf course, and I don't know that I wasn't avoiding anything, but I happened to come in and on the TV they had in there, they're like, well, Michael Phelps has just done it. He has broken the record for most Olympic medals in the whatever relay, and I'm like, oh wow, that's awesome. Watch the race that night, not seeing anything else between, and remembering that fact. I'm like, they win, and that's when my guy, Jason Lezak, has that incredible comeback on that relay, and you're going, I started to doubt what I watched earlier. Because I'm like, I don't think they're going to wait. What? I thought he won. How's he win? So it still was the element of surprise in a weird way, not the way that most people would want that. So, but yeah, the Olympics are going on. We have been, I wouldn't even say giving up spoilers, but hey, look, the race walking's going on. Boxing's now being shown on USA. We will continue to tell you what's going on with the action a little bit later. But tonight we have the NFL. This is what a lot of you have been waiting for, myself included, the Hall of Fame game. And this is also an exercise in what frustrates me about the preseason. I get so excited because we have preseason games. It's here. And a lot of times the people you want to see play a series, a quarter, at best a half. So to me, besides it being football, the reason to watch the Texans and the Bears tonight is number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. The Bears got their guy. They move on from Justin Fields. This is the one they're featuring. He's not playing.
Why would he?
We don't want reps. We don't want, I'm not expecting a full game action. Can't he get one series to see how he looks against the Houston Texans version of their number 1 defense if they try to play their guys? I think we're seeing more and more teams, and actually I agree with this, not playing their starters at all in the preseason.
Then at that point, just get rid of it.
Yeah. And so that's where you go, okay, we'll give you 18-game regular season, which I've kind of been saying, I don't know if it's the best idea, even though I'll love more games that count. Give it to 2 preseason games, 1 home run, 1 road. But then you're really just battling for some other positions, some special teams guys, some depth on your roster, and that's okay. But I think we have to accept that as football fans and go, yeah, it's just a lesser product.
It's strange too, because there are no really preseason games in football until you reach the NFL.
Right. Yeah, because some people college, non-league is not preseason.
Yeah, you're in it.
Yeah, because if you're a Georgia, Notre Dame, Alabama, pick your school, Oklahoma, Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, that thinks every year they're going for a national championship, you can't afford to lose one of those games. And if you do, you better lose it in September and then hope that, all right, our one loss was it. That was it. Will that be enough to get us back in the race to be in? Now, it might be a little bit different now that they're starting to add more playoff teams, but that's kind of been the case. Where in the NFL, let's take the 2 teams, for example, from last year. The start for the Texans wasn't great. They ended up getting 10-7 and winning the division. The Chicago Bears, they were 0-4, then 1-7. And I know when we did top 5, bottom 5, they were always in my bottom 5. I'm like, the Bears are awful. And by the end of the year, we got 7 wins, 7-10. Didn't make the playoffs, but wasn't bad. And so now that gives you hope if you're a Bears fan. And certainly the Texans, if we kind of look at each team and expectations for the year ahead, not tonight. I mean, we're not, again, it'll be football. I will check it out. But the chances of me watching the 4 quarters of the Hall of Fame game are at 0. I think I would have to turn the TV on and have, for some reason, the cable freeze on that channel. I'm not anti-football. I'm very pro-football, but I will not watch the entirety of a preseason game. I just don't. But let's get to the Texans. What to watch for them as this year comes up. So with 10 wins last year as a surprise team, C.J. Stroud, a tremendous year. So now you feel like if you're the Texans, you found your quarterback. To me, I still want a little bit more. Just another year or 2 to prove it. But look, he's given us 1 year and he was great. So that's all we can go on. They did give him some help. Remember, they made the move. They got Stephon Diggs. So Diggs, for whatever reason, I don't know if he wasn't jiving with Josh Allen or not liking Buffalo. He was great there, but it always felt like they were getting closer and closer to a separation, and they got it. And the young guys they developed in Tank Dell, Nico Collins, they were a nice receiving crew for C.J. Stroud. They had a Joe Mixon. Defense was solid. Let's remember they won a playoff game, just crushed the Browns, and then ultimately lost to the Ravens. So a wildly successful year a year ago. Now they get the dreaded expectations. What could CJ Stroud do? Can he threaten for the MVP? Can he be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? You add Diggs. They've given him more weapons. They won 10. DeMeco Ryans, young stud coach. Where can the Texans go? Good question. I mean, that division has kind of rotated winners the last couple of years between Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Houston. We've seen them kind of in Tennessee. We've seen them rotate that, and it may be the same this year. But 10-7 with the Vegas numbers having them of an over-under of 9.5 wins. To me, the division is still open. They're a good team. I want to see if they could do it again and back that up. Now, conversely, the Chicago Bears, I mentioned this the other day, for whatever reason, last year, right about this time, when people were talking about MVP candidates, I was a little surprised that Justin Fields was getting the run as not even necessarily a dark horse. More and more people were saying, and people that I trust, that I like and respect their opinions would go, yeah, Justin Fields is my MVP. I'm like, wow, what am I missing? Well, he is no longer a Chicago Bear. They have drafted Caleb Williams when they also in the first round in the top 10, I believe he was, from Washington, the receiver Odunze, got him. That was a good move. They added more to their overall roster with DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen. These are their skill players. DJ Moore, who they got in that trade a year ago. So you can understand why people in Chicago have high hopes. A solid enough defense, but can Caleb Williams, who was absolutely phenomenal in the early part of his college career from Oklahoma to USC. Last year, the Trojans didn't have the same year, nor did he. But all along, everybody said this is the can't-miss number one pick. I mean, talk about unfair comps. Like, this is the guy that's the closest to Patrick Mahomes. That's unfair. But Chicago, of all the franchises in the NFL, and this one's been around forever, one of the proud first franchises, they just haven't been able to figure out the code at the quarterback position. And whether they drafted early and had guys, different guys they've brought in, like Cutler, I think has been one of their better QBs. Grossman, I know, took him to a Super Bowl. McMahon won a Super Bowl. But we're not looking at Hall of Fame quarterbacks that have been in Chicago. They were hoping they found that guy in Justin Fields. I'm sure they debated on whether or not that was the road they could have gone to keep Fields, trade the number one pick, move off of Caleb Williams. Someone else may want him, get more in return, and build with Justin Fields. I mean, that was a road they could have taken. Instead, they opted to take Caleb Williams first. So they're going to have to live with this. We'll see if Justin Fields flourishes or not in Pittsburgh or somewhere else as his years go on. But this is the plan. I don't fault them for their plan, but we now got to see if they can execute their plan. The tough thing for the Bears, in my opinion, I think they have some good things going, some good things they're building, is the emergence of the Detroit Lions, what the Lions became last year. The NFC North, Jordan Love. Like, look, you lose Favre. Okay, good. Now what? Oh, Rodgers. Okay, they lose Rodgers. Now, oh, man, Jordan Love. They haven't really dropped. Like, there should be that normal drop where the Vikings are going through a transition at QB with that quarterback battle between Darnold and McCarthy, and maybe that could buy some time for them to figure things out. So can the Bears work their way up that division after just a hideous start last year at 0-4 and then 2-7? Got themselves to 7-10. Their over-under wins, according to Vegas, they have them at 8.5. So we had the Texans at 9.5, the Bears at 8.5. A lot of the league lives in that 7, 8, 9, 10 win area. These two teams probably will be there as well. But they get it started tonight with the Hall of Fame game. All right, when we come back, 3 questions, 3 answers in 3 for Madness, including a ridiculous purchase that Paul George admitted to in one podcast, and we'll see if you would have been willing to do that. We've got that question and answer and more next on 3 for Madness.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, 3 for Madness time. We have 3 questions, 3 answers. You can participate as well on our YouTube chat, certainly on our text line if you'd like to partake. Chris Verlade, hit us with question number 1.
Paul George said on a podcast that his first big purchase in the NBA was a Ferrari, and he bought it on eBay. Any chance you would have done that?
No. I know we
the
can't.
The Ferrari part or the eBay part?
Probably both. And that's the shame. I'm trying to think if I'm in my early 20s, let's just say 20, and nowadays with if I was that gifted in a lottery pick like Paul George, and got that financial windfall, I don't think I was ever really careless or reckless with money. And I think I know we've talked about on the show, like if you ever got a financial windfall, like winning the lottery, like for me, Chris, I'm not a car person, and I totally get why people are. So like, I would probably get a new car, a new nice car, and then drive that into the ground. Like I drive all my cars into the ground. Like I don't need 4 of them. I don't need 6 of them. I don't need 3 of them. It was like, here's my car. This is what I drive. And certainly the eBay part is hilarious. I would, if you having a major purchase like that, I mean, any chance you do that?
I can see myself buying a car online. That's become
online, but on eBay. I mean, I don't know if that's
eBay.
different.
They've got like a
certain guarantees and stuff like that. Okay. I guess that was my reservation. And I this was back in around, what was he drafted?
Yeah, I don't know about back then.
10, 12, 11, somewhere in there. Yeah, try to put yourself as 20-year-old Chris Verlade. You're now going to be a multimillionaire. What do you think your first, I don't know, any kind of wacky purchase right away for you? Or something you're like, I made it. This is what I'm doing first.
Probably be a party.
Yeah, like that I could see.
I think that would be like the first thing.
And and even if it's outlandish, we're not talking about something costing you millions of dollars. And not that a Ferrari is costing you millions, but a party could be a really nice party, and you're like, okay, I took care of it, no big deal.
I said if I ever won the lottery, I'd want a huge party with a wrestling ring in my backyard, Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out, and us just drinking beers for
watching him
during his entrance music.
What do you think the cost would be to get Steven Austin there?
Who?
What'd I call him?
Did you call him Steven Austin?
I did. Stone Cold Steven Austin.
Steven Austin.
Yeah.
I'm not friends with Steve Austin.
Yeah. What would it cost to get Stone Cold at your backyard ring?
I don't know, $50,000.
Don't you think more?
No.
No?
He lives over in Reno too, so it's
Does
not
he?
like, yeah. Well, he lives in Sparks. He's got a ranch out there.
All right, let's call him up. Homer Cell. Let's get him in here. We've got 50.
Oh, if you want to see something amazing, Stone Cold Steve Austin with his pet cats is incredible.
He's a cat guy?
Oh, yeah.
Like multiple cats?
It's Macho and I can't remember what the other name is.
Man?
It's like Macho and
Nacho.
Honcho or something like that. It's something like that. Macho!
And he's yelling at him like that in his voice.
I love this cat.
Like the I would have him in If you're there and he's at your party and everyone's talking to him about wrestling, what do you think I'm talking to him about?
You are talking to him about grown-ups too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Chris knows me well. Some people might be there talking about his cats.
Poncho and Macho.
Macho and Poncho.
Yes.
I'd be there talking to him, not about wrestling, not about anything else, not about his ranch. How was it on Grown Ups 2? What was the cast like? What was that like being in that movie? That cinematic treasure, my guilty pleasure of just a garbage movie, but I like to watch it. When I think of these purchases, I still always think of this all the time. I remember when Coase had Kevin Martin on after he was drafted, and I think Coase asked a question along this line about like, so Kmart, what's the big first purchase? Going to get a new car, and he gave the most real and authentic answer that I loved. He's like, I haven't and I can't remember what year it would have been. Like, I've got a 94 Nissan. I don't really.
He's got one of those cars with the seatbelt that is electric and it comes up.
Yes, and it made sense. It's what he drove in college in Zanesville, or from Zanesville and all that. It's like, I don't need a new car. And then he gets here probably in that car and he's proud of it. And then I'm sure some of his teammates are like, man, you can't be in a car like that. You got to get. And then before long, he had a, decked out Hummer. And you're like, all right, well.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, that's what he went for. All right, question number 2.
Question 2.
The term dog days of August or dog days of summer are here. What do you think of when the 8th month hits the calendar?
Look, I guess and I was looking that up. What's the dog days of summer? What does that officially mean? I guess because July and August are deemed the hottest months of the year. So kind of have to make it through those for people that don't like the heat. And, when you start getting to unsafe heat, that's not cool. But I think of the start of football. I think of the start of college football. I think the start of training camps. I think of Sac State football, going to camp and practice and watching them get ready for their season. I know when I was a kid, I was thinking like, all right, I still have some time. Because school, when did school start for you that you remember? Like when you were in middle school, high school? Like, wasn't it like late September?
No, mine.
You got the move up like around Labor Day, right?
Yeah, it would either be the week before Labor Day or the day after Labor Day.
Oh, man. Okay. So, yeah, ours was what I seemingly remember was mid to end of September. And so August was maybe not the last time, but like a vacation month. Not you're gone the whole month, but hey, if we took a trip, that was somewhere where we went, or we went to see family or relatives. I've always enjoyed August, but a lot of times, like I said, the term dog days. And now schools start earlier. People are back in school in August. It's just our whole calendar has shifted. I'm not sure it's for the better. People are out of school sometimes now in May. Like for me, it was late June and we started in late September. It's just all different nowadays.
I think ours, we'd be out like the first week of June.
Okay. Ours was always maybe like mid-June, like close to, maybe we'd end and then there's like Father's Day weekend. Like that's how far. Then it was like a week or two and it was 4th of July. And like, all right, but we still got months of summer to go. It's different. It's certainly, we got football tonight, like we said, Olympics going on every 4 years. I like that's around. So yeah, different feeling for everybody when you get to the quote unquote dog days of August. All right, let's get to question 3.
Question 3.
There has never been a three-peat winner of a Super Bowl. What percentage chance do you give the Kansas City Chiefs to be the first to do it?
Yeah, looking at the other teams that had won 2 Super Bowls and went for a third, nobody's done it. Nobody also has even gotten to the Super Bowl again. So, they haven't lost as a chance for a three-peat in the Super Bowl. I mean, when you have Mahomes, you feel like you've got a great chance. I feel like the last couple of years they've been vulnerable, but they get through. And that's really what you have to do. Football it's not always the best team with the best record. It's how you play on those playoff games, right? And I would assume the Chiefs would either win their division or be a playoff team. So that gives them a chance. I think the AFC is ultra competitive. I just think there's so many good teams. So to try to put a percentage number on it, the fact that nobody's done it makes you want to say 0. I'm not going to give them a 0% chance because, again, I think there'll be a playoff team, so that puts them in the field that gives them a chance. Just based on history, based on numbers, based on odds, I don't think it'll happen. But they've got Mahomes, they've got Reed, Kelsey, their team. We've seen do it. I'd give them about 15%. I don't know if that's too high, too low. Chris, what percentage chance would you give the Kansas City Chiefs of being the first team ever to three-peat?
98%.
98. And the only what's your 2% hesitation?
Patrick Mahomes gets hurt.
Makes sense. So basically, if Patrick Mahomes exists and he's on the Chiefs and he's playing, you're picking them to win.
Only 7 more to go.
Only 7 more to go. You made that prediction. 10 Super Bowl championships, 10 Super Bowl MVPs. He's got 3. I'm like, 10.
At what point would you be like, oh, man?
Maybe 4 or 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So if they win this year, you might think like, oh, wow.
Well, especially because he's got more time. Like, let's say it takes him, Brady would go a couple years, and then over time, you're like, man, he's got 5, he's got 6, he's got, wow. Like,
yeah, Brady had those.
Kind of keep winning him here at a pretty good rate.
He had those Super Bowls, but he had about 4 to 5 different teams.
Yeah.
And so, like, Patrick Mahomes has at least that many more teams in him. It's weird, like, singing Kelsey saying, like, oh, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to keep doing this.
Right.
And Patrick Mahomes, everyone's like, oh, he's got at least 10 more years in him.
Yeah. What's his age, Patrick Mahomes?
28.
Is that right? Or are you
I
guessing?
don't know. I'm just
okay.
Doing an early celebrity birthday.
Yeah. Let's see how old good old Patty. He's going to, he's washed. He's going to be 29.
So he's
28 now. You are right. But he's going to be 29 in a little over a month. Man, he's got a long way to go. He's got a long way to go. So
that counts as 1 for celebrity birthday already, right?
Yeah, you're crushing those guys. I'll let them know. And you got it exactly on. Is this true? Someone on the text line? I don't think. Well, okay. I want to do a little your reaction to this text, Chris. August, we were talking about August and the dog days, is the only month without a holiday. I don't think that's right.
What's the August holiday?
No, I believe there's not a holiday, but other months I don't think have a holiday.
January does. February does.
Does March?
March.
St. Patrick's
in California, Day. It's Cesar Chavez Day.
Okay, but St. Patrick's Day, some people, holiday. It's not a holiday.
Yeah.
And some people, Halloween, it's not a holiday.
April, I can't think of one for April.
Yeah, I don't know if March or April have one. May does. June does now.
July.
August we said no. September, yes. I don't think October does. Yeah, I think we're talking March.
October has Halloween.
But that's not a holiday.
That counts.
No, it's not. I mean, everybody has to, like, how is that a holiday?
I don't work on Halloween.
What?
I don't work on Halloween.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
You've never worked on
Halloween? No. Like the last 3 years
You took Halloween off?
Uh-huh.
Why? Holiday?
Like Halloween.
So you have to take it off. That tells you it's not a holiday.
Yeah.
But you like Halloween. We work 6 to 10. I mean, you have to do other stuff after that. You have the whole night ahead.
Well, wasn't it a weekend this year?
Oh, is it on a weekend this year?
I thought it was a weekend last year.
I feel like the Kings have played on a bunch of Halloweens lately. I don't think they did last year, or if they did, maybe a year ago it was an early game, and I remember getting home going, well, at least I can still be around for the Halloween festivities. I think they played the Miami Heat, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no, it was a Tuesday this year.
This coming year?
Last year. So It's a Thursday this year.
See, then you...
Oh, Matt just turned it into a 4-day weekend.
I was going to say, you work Halloween, but take Friday off. Or you take Thursday and Friday off. There you go.
Or I take the whole week off.
I'm done for the rest of the year. So whether that's fair or not, I don't deem those as you count St. Patrick's Day as a holiday and not Halloween. That's what Earl says. Why? What's the difference? Why is St. Patrick's Day a holiday? I don't believe any of our, like, the mail would come. You're supposed to work. You could take any day off. I'm not counting that as, but like our grocery stores, like our public service stuff is open and working, and most everybody is working. October used to have Columbus Day. Wasn't that in November?
That was October.
It was October. Remember when we used to do President's Day I don't know if you had this where it was like Washington and Lincoln.
Yes.
Now we've just made it
President's Day. Because some president probably was upset. Like, how come I don't have a day?
Yeah. Who could do that? Unbelievable. All right, there you go. 3 questions, 3 answers, 3
We
fanatics.
also need more holidays.
I agree with that. At least 2 a month. When we come back, we'll ask that to Kelly Brothers. Sports business. What's going on in the world of sports via the business world? Yes, Kelly Brothers joins us next.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. Laporta's over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right. Being chased. Throws. And it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Hey, it's me, your liver. You know, the organ that helps you recover every weekend at the pizza, donuts, and all those drinks. When you have a headache, you take an aspirin. You have a stomach ache, you pop an antacid. But where's the love for your best buddy, the liver? The least that you could do to help me stay healthy is take Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver tablets contain high-quality, all-natural ingredients like milk thistle, globe artichoke, and turmeric extracts, which are proven to keep me healthy and you feeling your best. Active Liver provides an easy daily detox and helps protect me all year long. So let me make you an offer you can't refuse. You take care of me with Active Liver, and I keep taking care of you. Capiche?
See for yourself why Active Liver is Scandinavia's #1 liver health supplement. You can find Active Liver at CVS and online at Amazon, Target.com, or directly from NewNordicUSA.com. Again, find it in stores at CVS or online at Amazon, Target.com, or NewNordicUSA.com.
Joining us now on Sports Sense, certified financial planner Kelly Brothers. Kelly is an advisor with Cap Trust, one of the nation's largest registered investment advisors. Cap Trust counts among its clients numerous pro athletes and pro sports franchises, but most importantly serves many Northern Californians through comprehensive financial planning. Here's Kelly Brothers.
And the sports world, as we all know, has truly become a mega business. All these entities, just money upon money upon money, and to help us sort all these things out each and every week. We love doing this Thursdays at 7:30. Our guy Kelly Brothers. Kelly, good morning. How are you?
What? I'm good. I am good. Yeah, I think they put Washington and Lincoln together because they thought we had too many holidays, which is actually impossible. But they remember we used to get Lincoln's birthday off and Washington's, and they were like 2 weeks apart. And then suddenly it became the very generic President's Day, which
And I guess because we're getting a lot of people text in about this. No, this is a holiday. This is like Easter. It's like, well, that's Sunday. I'm not saying I guess in my definition of a holiday, it's basically when we don't work or the mail or these services your banks are closed. What's your definition of a holiday?
Well, a holiday for me is when the market's closed.
There you go.
So, and I think we talked last week about how the Super Bowl is looking, especially with an 18-game season, at moving to President's Day weekend so that everyone would have that Monday off after a Sunday Super Bowl, or they are looking at moving the Super Bowl to Saturday night so that everyone would have Sunday to recover, which makes some sense. It's in February. They do 2 weeks break between the league championship games and the Super Bowl anyway. What's one day, really? Right. But they are working on that. So, yes. Yeah.
More holidays, the better. Have you been enjoying or watching on all the channels the Olympics at all?
Some, yeah. It's funny. I have some friends who are announcers, so I look for their spot. I look for, Jim Kozimor. Great to hear his voice again, and I got some other friends who do that, and a little bit. Yeah, I do watch some of it. Nothing has kind of just grabbed me. Except for my family, the geeky Irish guy who won the swimming really got us laughing because he was very funny. Anytime an Irishman wins a swimming race, it's kind of funny, I think. So, anyway.
What would be your guess, Kelly? I mean, we're 4 years out from this. Los Angeles is going to host it in 2028. I think back to when I was a kid, one of the best things I ever did. I was young. My dad had a bunch of access to different things, went to a bunch of Olympic events in 84, and I loved it. I want to do it again, just to kind of come full circle in 2028. But I'm already thinking about just what some of those ticket prices may be for whatever event. I don't know if you even remotely would have a guess, but they're going to be pretty astronomical, don't you think?
They are, but I think the Olympics, Jason, is also that place. It's the old Yogi Berra line. No one goes there anymore. It's too crowded. And I there are a lot of events where you can pick up tickets for relatively cheap. Because people just think, oh, I'm not going to LA during the Olympics. What a disaster! Oh my gosh, the traffic. Oh. So I don't, yes, if you want to get into, the basketball final or the track and field finals of the one, yes, they're going to be outlandishly expensive. But if you're content with just kind of mid-level events or preliminary events, I think you're going to be able to get in without too much problem and too much expense, maybe even cheaper than the latest sports streaming package, which was announced today. So Venue Sports. This is the streaming venture from Fox, ESPN, and Warner Brothers, and they set the price today, $43 a month.
Man.
Now, according to some folks, this new service right now encompasses about 55% of all U.S. sports rights. So more than half of all sports rights in this one streaming platform. However, it includes Warner Brothers, so obviously a chunk of that will disappear in a year when the NBA switches over to Amazon, assuming their lawsuit goes nowhere on that. So, but you can always back out then as well. But $43 a month, are you going to be keeping Peacock,
right?
Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu,
Apple,
on down the line? People are going to be looking back on, God, I used to love cable.
Yeah, and people then got frustrated with cable prices, but my goodness, Kelly, $43 a month, and like you said, all the things that's going to entail. I mean, as a sports, I'm doing it. I mean, I have to, but you just go, yeah. What happened to the good old days where all this? Hey, maybe they could package this all in one spot. Oh yeah, it was called cable.
Yeah, and now they 43 a month. I mean, think about that. That's a multiple of 4x what most of these streamers are costing now. Most of them are between $7.99 and $13.99 a month. So 43, that's, you got to love your sports. I guess you could say, well, YouTube TV, what is that now? Is that $70 a month? I think it is
somewhere in there.
But everyone's going to have to get very, and a lot of these places are kind of counting on people showing up, paying the fee and forgetting they have it. And just every month, the drip, drip, drip off your credit card, which is real. Apathy is real. It's an actual strategy in this sort of annuitized business.
As we're talking, did we lose Kelly for a second there? Oh, there you are.
I'm back.
Yeah. So just as a copycat from that, Kelly, I'm assuming, as you said, kind of the other entities that are a little bit, well, let's say they're less expensive. Won't Peacock and Apple TV and all these others just kind of creep their way up, maybe not to 43, but if they see that people are dishing out that for that, I mean, aren't those just going to continue to go up?
Yeah, and from a financial planning standpoint, you just got to sit down and say, wow, do I want to spend, $150 or $200 a month on streaming? Is it worth it to me? And maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. And I'm actually surprised that the Super Bowl is still over the air. I'm actually surprised the Super Bowl is not on streaming, because that would be the ultimate draw to get people to sign up and commit to a year to a streaming service. But not yet. It's still over the air.
Well, everybody's following the money. There will be money there. There's money going in women's sports. Certainly the WNBA continues to grow. We constantly talk here on your segment, Kelly, about Caitlin Clark, what she's done. But we got a new team in our general area, in the Bay Area, out in San Francisco. They're going to have a WNBA team. What's the latest with what's going on with them?
The Valkyries.
Yes.
Which are a group of maidens who serve the god Odin and were sent by him to the battlefields to find a place worthy of a place in Valhalla. That does not sound like San Francisco to me, but that is the Golden State WNBA team entry. I thought Valkyrie was a World War II movie starring Tom Cruise, but no, that's a different Valkyrie. But hey, they have 15,000 deposits for season tickets for the Valkyries. That number surprised me, which is why I wanted to bring it up today. 15,000. And by the way, Jason, the rollout has begun for tickets to the Athletics next year at Sutter Health Park. And it's not cheap, but with 14,000 seats and maybe, only 3 years of a major league team in Sacramento, I think they're going to sell every ticket for every game. And I think people will have a great time as long as it's not 110 degrees.
Yeah, I did a little looking into that because I'm intrigued certainly to see Major League Baseball here, and I know they were making a strong push to, when I first looked into it, to make you either a current River Cats season ticket holder or a current Oakland A's season ticket holder for the rest of this year. Those two options I wasn't as interested in, but I want to be anxious to see kind of what that ticket packaging looks like for next year.
Yeah, and from what I've seen anyway, they are giving you one price which locks in for 3 years, but you do make for these upper end tickets and upper end hospitality options, you do you are looking at a 3-year commitment. So
that's smart.
So yeah, it is, and but it's still just astounding to think of the Chicago Cubs opening the season here next year. And it'll be very interesting to see, if it proves to be a good outside draw, if we get people from Chicago or people from other cities coming to Sacramento, because I think the impact when you look at nationally on ESPN and some of these other, I think it could be almost Savannah banana slug type stuff, because people will have fun with the fact that they're playing in a minor league bandbox with 14,000 people and that the crowd is bananas every night. I think their national will have fun with that. So we'll see. I mean, I think it could draw some people, as a lot of folks too, Jason, have figured out if you live on the other side of the country or the world and you want to come to Napa, Sacramento is your best airport. It's better than San Francisco, better than Oakland. If you're looking to get to Napa, it's quicker. And so maybe people, kind of lump in see their Boston Red Sox or whoever their favorite team is with a trip to Napa or Tahoe or somewhere else. Yeah. We will see.
We will see. All right. How about, I know this has been in the news, the NFL ticket. Where's kind of that gone with the courts and that whole issue?
Well, it just seems like the appeal of it has some legs. And the reason is the Judge Philip Gutierrez, made the remark that he said the jury did not follow his instructions in determining damages. And that is in and of itself grounds for a new trial. So so Gutierrez now has to rule on the motion, which is asking that the plaintiff did not prove its case. But he has some optionality here. He could throw out the case. He could say we need to retry this with a new jury. But he has said out loud the jury did not follow his instructions in the way they calculated the damages. You'll recall the jury hit the NFL with a $4.7 billion judgment. And that's a big number. That's a big, ugly number for the NFL to swallow, and they don't want to swallow it if they don't have to. So interesting. But that ties in with the whole streaming thing as well, because I think they'd like to get out of the DirecTV package if they could eventually and just do it all on streaming. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's going to be a constant theme of the future for sure. Pay for these sports opportunities. Kelly, thank you as always. We always appreciate getting your insight here on sports business, and we look forward to doing it again next week.
Sounds great, Jason. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. That's Kelly Brothers. Good at business. We know that. Sports business here. And again, $42.99 for streaming that venue package. Man, I'm going to have to do it. All right, break time for us. When we come back, we'll kind of recap some of that. There's some breaking NBA news as far as a retirement, and we'll look back at the Bay Bridge series from last night, the gem by Logan Webb. That is all straight ahead.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
You know, I was thinking, Chris, as Kelly told us that information about the venue pricing. Venue, of course, is that Disney, ESPN, Warner Brothers, Discovery, Fox kind of streaming sports entity. That's going to cost $42.99 a month. That's the number they landed on. But what it made me think of is, you know, when we were younger and you would hear our parents or uncles or aunts, whoever, someone older, like complain about something like it didn't used to be that way. And I was like, I don't want to be like that. Like that was, I don't know. It was just such a weird, like, just, it's the way it is. Like, just relax. Well, I feel like these kind of things get me into that spot. Like, what? I have to pay $43 a month to watch these things?
Because they're just trying to squeeze every last cent out of us.
And I go, well, here I am. Now I'm that guy. Just going, what are we doing? It didn't used to be this way. I used to be able to turn on the TV and watch sports that I paid for on cable.
I paid my taxes.
Or didn't pay for over the air. Wow. I mean, I am a sports fan. I don't know that the number just bothers you. $43 a month? That's ridiculous. I guess I'm going to have to see exactly what they have, but most likely I'm going to have to get it.
Yeah, because with me, as a soccer fan, to watch all of my Manchester City
what do you
games,
have?
I have to have
Peacock.
I have to have cable.
Right.
So you can watch USA or NBC, Peacock, ESPN Plus, and Paramount Plus.
Oh, wow. It's not on anything else? I mean, that's enough, but that covers it.
Paramount Plus is CBS, so that's for the Champions League. So once there's like basically the Final Four, they will be on TV, but most of the time it's on Paramount Plus.
And I don't know if it would be better for you if they were all on one thing and it was a higher price, or just like the total price. I don't know.
Well, then you get into things of sharing with people. So it's like, okay, I use, we share a Peacock and we share Paramount Plus, and I've got someone else's ESPN Plus.
And then I like this enough from this. Also, I see this show on here or whatever else might be on some of these things. Man, times they are a change.
And before, when NBC first had got the English Premier League, all the games are free online.
Right.
They're like drug dealers. They give it to you for free the first time.
I was looking at the venue thing. I go, okay, $42.99, man, or a 7-day trial. I'm like, oh yeah, sure.
But that's just for what I was reading? It's like ESPN Plus, so I already have that.
Yeah, but I think there was more to it, right? What did I say? Okay, here it
and
is.
Warner, so that's TNT, but I have Max already.
ESPN, Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Fox Corp. I don't know exactly everything.
So I think
means.
what that is basically ESPN Plus and Max.
But are they going to make you
Turner.
switch from ESPN Plus to that?
I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I have ESPN Plus as well. I'm like, okay, it's fine. I see that charge every month. Okay. And Kelly's very right on that. Like, I think what the idea of any kind of subscription thing is, oh, I forgot I had that. Or, yeah, I don't know. It's like gone and forgotten about because they take the $9.99 a month off and it just disappears. And you just keep doing that month after month after month. Yeah, I've been doing it for 4 years. So what's the deal? Anyway, wow. Something to watch, that's for sure.
Oh, man, I'm out of cash.
We're all out of cash. I mentioned go to break, an NBA retirement, according to Shams, who tweeted a little bit ago. This was a guy I thought the Kings could even potentially look at as a free agent, but after 14 NBA seasons, Gordon Hayward is retiring. He had a nice career. 2017 NBA All-Star in Utah, played for the Jazz, the Celtics, the Hornets, and then not much for the Thunder. Across his career, was a lottery pick back in 2010 draft after starring at Butler.
Kind of wish he never had that insane injury.
I remember that very well.
Were we at the station?
Yeah, we were at the other building, and it was the very first game of the NBA season. Yeah. And then, his leg was pointing the wrong way. That was one of the all-time gruesome injuries.
Because he came back good, but it never seemed like he got to.
Yeah. And he still has, I think he was about as close to one of the greatest moments in sports history ever when it was Butler playing Duke in the finals, and he shot that from half court and hit the rim. And, I mean, half-inch different, and he makes it. That's one of the shots of the century. I mean, the shots ever. Like, it's to win a title from half court.
From playing at Butler.
And Butler over Duke. Like, every element of that would have been amazing.
I mean, there would have been movies made after that.
Yeah, it's still amazing, but he missed, and so it feels less amazing. But it was so close. Such a great story. A great run. I think they made the Final Four or the finals 2 years in a row, didn't they? They lost both times, but like
I want to say, yeah.
It was pretty amazing, the run that school had. So Gordon Hayward, successful 14-year career has come to an end. All right, Bay Bridge series last night. Giants end up winning. They take 5 of 6 on the homestand. So, again, kind of still in that same spot in the wild card race. Logan Webb, in under 2 hours, scattered, I believe, 5 hits, just over 100 pitches. Complete game shutout, 1-0 in the final. Sac fly in that 5th inning was the difference in the game. And so Giants split the series with the A's. They'll play 2 more in Oakland in a couple of weeks. I think it's like the 17th and 18th, something like that. But speaking of the A's, we were just talking about this with Kelly Brothers, and I'd be interested if you all are interested in tickets for the A's in Sacramento, or are you going to try to get single game? Chris, if you had the ability to, I don't think you would get season tickets, but would you have been interested at all in season tickets for the A's here?
No.
You would be interested, though, in going to a game there at some point.
Sure.
Yeah. Not.
I don't want to give John Fisher a penny that I don't
thing.
have to.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, I love baseball. I want to go to baseball games.
It will be pretty interesting because you could look into the stadium now outside, right?
You can look in, but you're not seeing anything. What do you mean? Like you can see in, like, because the concourse is kind of the level of the parking area in the park, and then there's a bowl that drops down.
I'm saying, like, in the outfield. Can you see, like, if you're over there, can you see into the stadium? I
don't know. I don't think I've been. I don't believe so. Like the left field, you can't because there's the locker room area, the clubhouse. Right field, I know there's the hill that goes down. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I haven't been over there.
Because there's also those apartments, like, right over there that I'm thinking, like, that'd be cool to fun. Watch from there.
Where do they do that? Wrigley, where people walk from the, and I don't know how.
And
much
of course, that turned into a giant cash grab.
Exactly, and I wonder how much they can actually see, or is it more like status of just, hey, I'm having beers out here at barbecue and.
See, that's like the perfect baseball. Like for me, going to a baseball game, the game is secondary.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is socializing, is the food and drink. is being at the park. And then, there's not action every second. It's like basketball, you kind of have to watch. There's something going on. Baseball, you can almost wait if you're not paying attention. If I'm talking to you and then you hear the crack of the bat, and you're like, uh-oh, and you go and look.
The game I went to, I want to say the A's won, but I'm not sure. Yeah, the A's won, but I think we didn't even get to it. We're just walking around, hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't think we got to our seats until the second inning.
Yeah.
And then it's whoa, it's 2-0 already? Oh, wow.
We missed some action. So, I'll be interested to see. I think the tickets will do well. I really do. I think just because there's so few, 14,000. And I think they'll be in demand. I think that's smart of the A's / River Cats / Kings, whoever's kind of ultimately deciding the final piece here. But the fact that I would do that. If I'm trying to buy season tickets, I'm not asking anybody for 1 year. I'm trying to make a 3-year commitment, and that could be an option for a fourth, right? But there could be more. We don't know. Let's hear what former Oakland A, Eric Burns, who used to be a friend of the show. I think he used to have an Eric Burns show on weekly here years ago. But he was a River Cat. He was an A. Here's what he had to say about the A's.
And the A's go, look, we obviously have a good thing going here. They build up a season ticket list. They get that season ticket list of 30,000 in the city of Sacramento. Theoretically, if we had a season ticket list, would you be on it? 30,000 people say yes. They then take Rayleigh Field. They do a whole renovation on Rayleigh Field. They make it a 30,000-seat stadium. A's stay in Sac. Las Vegas then gets the expansion team in the new stadium that's built. That's what I am predicting will happen.
Yeah, we want to reiterate that's his prediction. I can see that happening. I don't know that I'm predicting it. I think that's maybe what the Kings or Vivek would want to see, right? That seemingly, how you say small purchase, not in financial dollars, but when he purchased then Rayleigh Field and the River Cats, it's kind of that's interesting. I didn't know Vivek would be interested in baseball over there. But now probably his thought process is, hey, Vegas may not work. There could be a loophole. Maybe John Fisher does ultimately try to sell. Maybe there are other things that cause it to take a little bit longer. I do personally think expansion in Vegas would be a better idea. Whether or not baseball in Sacramento is the best idea, I think it would work here. If it was a full commitment, I think they ultimately would need a new stadium. But it feels like every spot right now has question marks. Certainly the existing location is Oakland, and there's no further lease ahead. So there's a question mark. City issues, other things, stadium, all that going forward. Sacramento, certainly a good middle ground. There is a place to play, but concerns with having two teams, the River Cats and the A's, potentially putting in that AstroTurf, Sport Turf field. The heat, all that kind of stuff, and the smaller stadium. And then Vegas currently does not have a stadium built, though I do believe that's going to happen. It's Las Vegas. If anywhere can build a stadium, I think they will just build it. But will Vegas then try to work its own magic and say, yeah, we're not interested in the A's. We're not interested in John Fisher. We're interested in baseball. We want our own team, much like they're likely going to get an expansion basketball team. They got a new WNBA team. They love them. They got a new NHL team, the Golden Knights. That's like the golden child of Vegas. They like the Raiders there. They like the Vegas Strip. They like everything that Vegas has. They want that to feel like their own. The A's, I don't think, to them, will feel like their own. They're trying to figure out if they like Formula One, the race that is now a 10-year deal that goes to the city. I know it was kind of a logistical nightmare last year. Maybe it'll be better in the next couple of years, but there's just so much going on, so much money, and I still see Vegas as getting a stadium. It's just, will it be the one that houses the A's? That, to me, is the question. All right, what's going on in basketball? Sam Amick is at the Olympics. Team USA got the win yesterday. They're now 2-0. First game, Halliburton and Tatum didn't play yesterday. No Joel Embiid. We'll talk about that and more in our weekly visit with Sam Amick from The Athletic, live from the Olympics. That is next.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. Kings lead by 3.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me. Nugenix, that's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas, right? Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yes. Text radio to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix. Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card. Download the free Upside app now and use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill up. That's promo code GIFT.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, it is that time. Every Thursday, 8 o'clock, we have the pleasure to talk to the Athletics' Sam Amick, still live from the Olympics. Sam, how are you?
Hello, Jay. We're
cutting out.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, there you are. We got you back. Sorry.
We back. I apologize. What's up, my friend? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I know last week, I think when we talked, you had the family time. Family had made their way back, and now you've been in work mode. How has the rest of your Olympic experience been so far?
It's been good. Last time we chatted, I was down in Paris, and that actually to this date is the only time I've left Lille to go down to Paris. But it's been fun. You know, it feels a little more so far anyway, like you're covering a FIBA World Cup tournament as opposed to the Olympics because, you know, Lille doesn't have other sports. So that kind of vibe where you, like a day like today is a good example. There's no Team USA practice. There's only women's games at the arena. And, if I was down in Paris, I might jump around and go to swimming or gymnastics or whatever it might be. But a few more days here and then we'll head down. But overall, it's good, man. I'm coming to you from the famous apartment that I've written about where I got locked out a few days ago. So I'm just happy that I haven't been homeless at all in my time out here. So we're rolling now.
I know there's a lot of work that you're doing out there, good work as well. But so today is I guess what would be equivalent to an off day. And that doesn't mean you don't have work. What do you do with the day in Lille?
So late night, that game with South Sudan, you're talking about a 9 p.m. tip. And the logistics they're wild. Like I've only done one other Olympics. I did Rio. I took a pass on Tokyo. And but to your question, like you end up, I think I filed my story at about 3 a.m. from the apartment. But after a 9 o'clock game, you're doing media with the players and coaches, and then getting home, like whenever there is a 9 p.m. game in Lille, which by the way, and I can't even pronounce the name of the town. The other kind of hilarious revelation is that we thought we were in Lille, and I am now, but where the games are played is a different town. And we just discovered that once we got out of here, but that's an aside. Getting back from the arena is kind of wild. The Uber drivers are making a killing on folks here because the prices spike and there's like a mad dash to get a car, or you can head for the train where the crowds are pretty big. So the longer you're here, you figure out all those logistics. And so, late night working and to your question about an off day in Lille, it's been kind of slow so far. We had breakfast in the apartment. We snuck a workout in where
nice.
I think you'll appreciate the ingenuity because I don't have a gym here. I may have, don't get me in trouble with, my Marriott folks, but I may have convinced a friend and colleague to give me a key to their hotel so I could go steal their gym a little bit, but it's just a little slice of normalcy amid all the work. But today's been pretty low key, been pretty nice.
So yesterday was a victory for Team USA. I think when we were talking last week, they were about to get started, and there was a little bit of the, a sense of urgency from Steve Kerr. Game 1 was a win. Game 2, a win. More of the talking points back here, Sam, seemed to be, wow, Tatum didn't play, Halliburton didn't play, but really more about Tatum. Kerr says, well, he's definitely playing, so he gets in. It's at the expense of Embiid yesterday. But I'd be curious kind of what storylines you feel like are gaining momentum as this tournament rolls on for Team USA.
Well, it's funny. Did you happen to see any of Steve Kerr's post-game media?
From yesterday's game?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Or hear, rather.
Yeah.
Steve, it was pretty fascinating. I wish it would have made the rounds more on social media because he went out of his way, and this is a storyline kind of based answer for you. He went out of his way to very professionally and respectfully, I felt like he was trying to coach those of us there on the fact that, guys, kind of begging, can you please cover this team a little differently than you would an NBA team? Because his point is this. You have 12 all-stars on this team. Somebody's not going to play every single time. So in the past 2 games, with the way they took care of Serbia, which was a pretty dominant victory, and you could argue with South Sudan, they let it get down to 10 points in the second half, but it was pretty dominant. And so they are now, I think, getting closer to living up to expectations and being more the team that we thought they were going to be. But in terms of the coverage, and we're as guilty of this as anybody, one game, it's Jason Tatum didn't play, but he's an NBA champion. Joel Embiid didn't play. Well, he didn't, he was going to play for France, and maybe he regrets his choice. And amidst all that, Steve Kerr's kind of sitting there going, guys, we just won by 17. There's 6 games. And he even made a point that during the NBA season, and hopefully the listeners find this interesting because I certainly did, that he tells his Warriors players that he does not want to hear complaints from them about the level of interest in what they do for a living, because that is what fuels the NBA's business. So don't get mad at social media. Don't get mad at media coverage. Literally the reason those people exist to inquire about what you do for a living, that is what leads to your livelihood and your riches and your wealth. But he was making a distinction that this is not the NBA. This is a 6-game international tournament, and he was kind of begging for the media to just come down on me if we lose, because that is about the result. But can we not every single night have to do a deep dive on why that the latest all-star didn't play? And I thought it was a pretty fair point.
I think it is fair. I don't think he's wrong, but also, Sam, you do this more, but I tried it on the show. We look for angles and different things to talk about. But to me, the talking point is the biggest one, honestly, is if they lose. So when they don't, and if it's by 17 or by 30, then we look for the next thing. And yeah, Durant was incredible in his first game back. And LeBron at this age is still doing some amazing things. But to me, it is, oh, wow, why didn't Tatum play? Oh, man, tonight it was Embiid, or he's actually been kind of these slow starts. It feels like a lot of it's been targeted Embiid. that's the next guy they take out. To me, that does feel like it's the talking point. I understand his side of it, but Sam, I know if they were to lose, that then becomes the biggest thing that I think could happen to them.
Yeah, I mean, the basketball a lot of times is not going to actually drive as much audience.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if you look at the last two things that I've written, Kevin Durant off the first game, that was a no-brainer. I mean, I've covered Kevin's whole career, and I might have recency bias. That was the most fun I've ever had watching Kevin Durant. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
He goes 8 for 8 coming off the bench after not playing the entire time. It was just a mic drop that, was very entertaining. And so I wrote that. Last night, I wrote about this incredible lineup that they stumbled on, where at one point, late first quarter, I look out there and it just kind of hit me. I go, wait a minute. You got Kevin Durant, Drew Holiday, Bam Adebayo, Derek White, and Anthony Edwards on the floor. Like, from a defensive standpoint, like, holy SH. And and so the fun part for me was, and you know me well, a lot of times I have no problem writing the drama and writing the who didn't play. But there's part of me out here that's like, let's not kind of skip over the fun part of getting players that are this good together. Moments like that, lineups like that are what make it fun. And it was neat after the game. I was almost workshopping it with the players themselves to say, all right, am I crazy, or like, is this pretty cool for you? And to a man, and I was able to get all 5 guys, and that's kind of what I wrote today. Every single guy, Durant more than anybody, like, his eyes lit up when I mentioned that lineup. And he said that lineup was incredible. And he talked about how, I'm sure some of the listeners probably saw this, the other day, Kevin was going back and forth with fans on Twitter about the best way to play the game of basketball. What I thought was so funny is that the argument that he made on Twitter the other day kind of came to life. It's almost like he manifested it in the South Sudan game, because he was saying, like, that type of basketball where you're talking about elite defense that sparks the offense, and it's just transition and it's talent and, teamwork and all those things, that's the way he likes playing the game. So I hear you for sure on what the storylines are. And maybe when you're closer to it, some of this stuff gives you a charge, whereas it wouldn't from home. But, I think things like that matter as well.
And being there, you're going to have a better feel of this. What I've noticed, and, we've said this for a while, it's not new news, but, like, obviously the gap is closing between the U.S. and the world, and maybe it's even in some sense. But if we go back to, like, the original Dream Team, Sam, I felt like there was literally a fear or an acknowledgement from the other team, like, well, we're just not going to win. Let's see how close can we make it. There's people asking for Barkley and Jordan's autograph. Now when you see, like, South Sudan and the team that they're trying to put together, and I know the U.S. came out yesterday and said we got the appropriate fear and respect for these teams, and I think they do, but I also feel like the other teams believe that they've got a shot, and I think that's actually good. I like that. Did you get that same sense when you're there that South Sudan went into that game thinking, like, look, I know who we're seeing. I see Durant, I see LeBron, I see Steph, but we're going to do our best and we may have a shot here. Do you get that sense from these other teams?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the rest of the world hasn't caught up in terms of, nobody, I don't know the numbers, but Canada, I believe, is going to have the second most All-Stars. I think that's accurate. Hopefully it is.
Right.
But, you're talking about nothing but All-Stars on Team USA. Because I believe, didn't Derek White get in last year?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he's the only one that missed, unless he was an add-on. But either way, at minimum, they've got on 11 All-Stars, let's say.
Yeah, and so in the other stat that, Steph and Kevin Durant had highlighted, I think we talked about this last week, was that whole thing where, like, the Dream Team faced, I believe, 9 NBA players, and this team is facing 65. You could go all the way down the line. The last however many NBA MVPs have been international players, with Giannis and Joker and Embiid. So, yes, teams have a lot of confidence when they play against them. Yes, the Americans have got to, be careful here, because they are beatable. They just are. You see these moments, offensively last night, they just weren't sharp. The defense was kind of the highlight of the game, but Steph Curry still not. I mean, that's another one if you just want to talk storylines. I mean, Steph Curry is really struggling. Steph is not playing well, and you can see he's pretty frustrated. He had a three late in the second quarter where the whistle blew, and then he just kind of chucked it after the whistle, and that three fell, and he just threw his hands up, and you could tell he was like, yeah, of course that one fell, because it didn't count. And then going into the half, I mean, he was literally talking to himself as he walked off the floor. So, there are things that are still pain points for this team. But, they're certainly the favorite. Canada's playing really well. I don't know who I would put from there. Germany's your reigning FIBA World Cup champion.
Yeah.
Serbia looked really good against Puerto Rico yesterday. The French, I don't know what to think of them because that Japan game was wild and way closer than it should have been. But yes, to your question, I think the fear factor is just, it's not what it was back then. It's never going to be that again.
I don't know if you know the answer to this or if you've gotten a sense of this, but sometimes, when you get the best talent together, they're all there for one goal. And we talked about this last week a little bit, Sam, that they've done a pretty good job so far of separating the, if you're Steph and LeBron, the Lakers-Warriors rivalry or whatever the rivalries may be. If you just had, Halliburton got eliminated by the Celtics and you got several Celtics on that roster. And, look, they're all teammates now and they're all going for the same goal. But have you had a sense of, I don't know, maybe a player or two that's caught some of the masses of the rest of the team's attention? Like, man, I've always played against this guy, but I just never knew they were this good. I guess where I'm getting to, I feel that with Anthony Edwards, and I don't know if I'm accurate on that, but I know everybody marveled at Durant's performance, like you said already. But are you getting a sense of a collective thought on a player or two that they're going, man, it's been nice to play with this guy because I just never really appreciated him until I'm a teammate with him?
I mean, the obvious one that I still think is worth highlighting is LeBron is not just out there. LeBron is literally being like peak LeBron, and that's fun. I almost admittedly feel bad for Steph because it's like it's just going to spark a bunch of narratives and talking points about how LeBron separated himself on Team USA and Steph did not. So these guys have a LeBron appreciation. Much farther down the list, Anthony Edwards last night was raving about Derek White and talked at length about how said I'd watched him all year, knew he was good. I didn't know that his IQ defensively was as good as it is, and the way he thinks the game and just the way he competes. He was raving about him. The Edwards Durant bromance, is like, I need to write more about it because it's pretty hilarious. Like, Anthony Edwards just is waiting with bated breath for anybody to mention Kevin Durant's name, because every time they do, he says, that's my favorite player. He just over and over again, like, that's my favorite player, to the point where it's like, bro, are you trying to get him to ask out of Phoenix to come to Minnesota? Like, they are really enjoying each other. And it's been kind of a bright spot because the way Kerr chose to bring Durant back coming off the bench has now created that situation where Kevin and Anthony are spending a fair amount of time on the floor together. And Ant joked last night, he's like, I don't want him to start. I want him to come off the bench because I like playing with him, So that one comes to mind. I mean, you have other kind of wrinkles to iron out. Like the Joel Embiid situation's not great. He didn't play well the last few games. It's just, he'll never, I don't think, tell us how he feels, but like, did you know that you were basically just, even though he's been starting, like, you were going to become like, how do you feel about becoming an insurance policy against like teams like with the Joker and other bigs where you need three guys, Anthony Davis, Bam, and Joel to throw at them? I think the Joel stuff is a little crunchy too.
We focus so much on the players, but you mentioned Steve Kerr and kind of how he's telling the media maybe how they should approach this. I'm interested in that part of it too. Look, those guys are competitive, and now you've got who's on that staff: Kerr, Spoelstra, Ty Lue,
Mark Few.
Yeah, so you look at that group, like Few's college, not that, they're all taking input in from everybody, but like just the competitive nature of seeing, Kerr and Spoelstra who have battled before and Lou and all of them. Like, how do you gain their competitiveness versus obviously they're there for the one goal as well.
Yeah, no, it is. The dynamics are really interesting. Spo, just as a little bit of kind of color from the scene, I was walking around the neighborhood yesterday, and this was not by design, but the Team USA hotel is literally probably 500 feet from my front door. And Eric had gone out, and he clearly had been working out, and I don't know if he was walking or jogging, but he was out, had his AirPods in, and he couldn't get very far before the fans were trying to stop him and take pictures, and he was very gracious with them. But Eric's a guy that there's plenty of speculation about him being the guy after Steve Kerr, because Steve has made it clear that he's going to be one and done. So you watch Spo on the sidelines, and competitiveness wise, he's as vocal at times as Steve, if not more. And so it seems like a good energy. And yeah, like you said, it's all these like very, very interesting personal dynamics that they're navigating. But I do think for the most part, not to sound all kind of roses and sunshine, but it feels like they are navigating it. Now, I will say, I thought it was a little strange last night. Steve was asked about how did Joel handle the news that he wasn't going to play. And Steve didn't really answer the question. He kind of went on a rant about something else. So that jumped out at me like, oh, okay. I wouldn't be shocked to hear that Joel was upset. Tatum had a quote about how I'm not going to make the story about me, but he called it humbling that, you win an NBA championship and you're not playing. So these are sensitive dynamics. These are sensitive egos. And, we'll see if they can keep pushing in the right direction.
I know this is a basketball philosophy question, and it probably is more for the coaches, but do you agree with him in the general statement that Kerr made? It's tough to play more than 10 in the 40 minutes.
I do, although it was funny and ironic that he said that and then he played 11.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And then granted they were up, I think 22 or something when Halliburton went in, and then Tyrese hit 2 threes. So, it wasn't an issue, but it is an incredibly fast game. And I think that Steve is trying to lean very hard into that general concept that it does not matter how we get there as long as we get the gold. And I need all of you to put your egos away. I mean, because part of his, speech message to the media last night was a request to stop. And I wrote this a little bit today, to stop looking at everything through the NBA prism. Last night's a good example. If you take the names away and you take the star power away, all that happened is you have a team in South Sudan who is small and is quick, shoots the hell out of the ball, and you need switchability, versatility. What you don't need is Joel Embiid. He's lumbering. He's a great defensive player, but he's going to get beat on the break, and it's just not a good game for him. So basketball-wise, in a vacuum, every choice, or that choice rather, that they made last night made perfect sense. But because you're talking about a former MVP, it becomes an issue. So I keep going back to it, but Steve is clearly trying to get folks to realize how different this is, when compared to the NBA.
Sam, I know we've talked to you before about good conspiracy theories. I don't know if you've had a chance to hear the one that was floated around via social media. Have you? Do you know what that is regarding Steve Kerr in Boston?
In Boston, no. Let's hear it. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Chris, because Chris knows this better than
Dave isn't here, so I have to take his place as the crazy conspiracy guy. And the conspiracy theory is Steve Kerr went out of his way not to bring Jaylen Brown with him. He has had Derek White play more minutes, and he is trying to implode the Celtics from within by getting all the teammates mad at each other.
Yeah, and not playing Tatum the other night too. What do you think? Buy it or not? You want to drop that one on Steve Kerr?
I'm in. I'm just gonna pretend I'm in. Yeah, let's go. It would be
press conference over.
Sexier. It would be sexier if this was months after the 2022 finals.
Yeah,
right?
True.
It's hard to really get excited about that one when, Steve made a comment. This is Celtics related. He got asked recently, I think down in Paris, about whether or not the Celtics players had, been jokingly boasting at all about being the champions. Basically, like, have they had any swagger? Is there any
Mm-hmm.
trash talk about how we won the whole thing? And he said no. I think it was like, what advice would you have for them about possibly repeating? And he said none, because the Warriors are trying to. And he had this line about how the Warriors are trying to accomplish it, and even Steve didn't believe it when he said it. Like, I could tell, So like the idea that he's diabolically trying to break up the Celtics is a stretch, but it's fun. The other funny thing here, guys, I don't know, like, what is going on with Boston these days, where like all of the conspiracy theories come from the Celtics. And one that I actually buy into a little bit is, the Jaylen Brown stuff with him. Like, I'm sorry, like, with all due respect to Nike and the godfather of Nike, Lynn Merritt, like, Nike has a ton of juice with this program. And this is, speculation. I certainly don't have anybody telling me this, but you just can't tell me that the shoe politics are not coming into play at all. And so that's one where, Jaylen has been very vocal about his frustration, but also has a Celtics tint to it. But fun stuff.
Want to ask you, this was off of Olympic news, but I'm sure you've heard by now about Gordon Hayward. Nice career. He was 14 years in his career officially retiring. That's coming as a report from your guy Shams from The Athletic. I thought he might get one more run at this, but just kind of love a reflection from you, Sam, on Hayward's career.
Yeah, good, very good career. The injuries in Boston were unfortunate, because he was a big pickup for them when he went that way. This is a tale as old as time, but the what might have been that you look back on is leaving Utah, and Jazz fans were pretty burned by that one. It's less talked about than Kevin Durant leaving Oklahoma City, but I think actually had some similar kind of vibes and tone to it. Those Jazz teams were really good, and he moved on. So the OKC thing was obviously just a complete non-starter, and you saw that he was near the end at that point. But classy guy, pro, accomplished player, and certainly wish him all the best in his post-playing career.
So for you, after you ultimately get to hopefully the medal round and all this stuff with Team USA, hopefully ending with a gold, what's do you finally, after that point, get some time, because that off season is gonna be pretty short for you?
Yeah, I can't complain. Like we talked about last week, it's not like I didn't just come off a 2-week vacation with the family. So on the one hand, I've been gone a lot. On the other hand, it's actually been a nice balance, because I'm out of the country for 32 days, but half of it almost was spent with the family. And so we're all good on that front. It'll be that stretch of the year where I will shut it down for a bit, but then have, kids in school and wife teaching, and just kind of hanging around the house for a while. So Jay, if you want to go to lunch at some point, give me a shout.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll get on a plane and go hang out with Dave over here in Europe. I actually talked to your guy today. So I was going to tell you, you need to push for, like, while he's gone, can the intro be like the Jason Ross show without Carmichael Dave?
Oh yeah, we can make that happen.
Come on.
Yeah, I thought you guys were going to be like, wasn't there talk of a connection there, or are you guys just too far away?
We are getting 50-50 prospects on that front. Not to put his business in the streets, but he doesn't know yet. He's waiting to find out if we will be in the same town at the same time. And if we are, that'll be great. But we did enjoy the heck out of it. We shared some vacation tales today. We didn't realize we've been closer to each other at times than we realized within the past couple of weeks. But I told him that he's becoming, Sacramento's Ted Lasso, and sounds like he's having a good time doing it.
Yes, he is, for sure. And I'm glad you are as well, Sam. Keep up the great work. Enjoy your time there. And as always, we appreciate your time with us. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Jay. Be good, brother.
All right. Thank you. You too. Sam Amick from The Athletic. Always love checking in with Sam. What an opportunity out there to check out Team USA. He's into the conspiracy, Chris. I don't know if he's going to ask Steve Kerr, but I like it. Like, let's just get this thing going.
It's so bad. Like, the actual conspiracy is like, it's really the sneaker companies.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully you enjoyed that conversation with Sam. Any part you ever miss of any of our shows, whether it's us, Styles and Watkins, the Drive Guys, it's all there for you later on podcast form on sacktownsports.com. Certainly you can watch us on YouTube as well. Go back and check out anything you've ever missed. All right, when we return, we still have who's hot and who's not. Let's go streaking. But next, day 6 of the Olympics is underway. What do we got right now? Field hockey. I haven't seen that one yet. That one's on. We had race walking earlier today, but it's a big day ahead.
Also, canoe slalom.
Oh, canoe slalom is on? Actually, I do like that. Is that the course? Now, that looks man-made. But
Yeah,
that
looks awesome.
It does look. I want to. Oh, wow, a good crowd at canoe slalom. So be checking that out. But it's a big day for Simone Biles. Katie Ledecky. Katie Ledecky's going to chase some more history. Team USA Women's Hoop to play their second game. We'll give you a medal count update as well. All that coming up on Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento, Dierks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Jason Mraz and the Super Band. Live. The mystical, magical, rhythmical, radical ride. Friday, August 9th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Jason Mraz and the Super Band with special guest Molly Miller Trio. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Jason Mraz and the Super Band in concert. Pick up the new album, Mystical, Magical, Rhythmical, Radical Ride.
Only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Oh, that was on YouTube. I didn't know I was on. The sugar has kicked in from that donut. So in the break, too bad the YouTube wasn't on because there wasn't an attempt to scare you, but I got you pretty good, didn't I?
Yeah, that's usually how I get scared.
Yeah.
At least I didn't do to you what I did to a former coworker when I just shoved her when she scared me.
With intention. Yeah, I didn't.
No, it wasn't even intent. It was just like my body reacted.
No, I mean, did they try to scare you?
I think so.
Yeah, I guess you had left the room. I went in there. I finally had the donut. Went in there. I was like, oh, I'll go in here during the break and eat the donut and talk to Chris. And you weren't in there. So I stood behind. It's the way their studio door is. If it opens, I was behind the door. And so I have been behind the door and attempted to scare you. And maybe it's worked. Maybe it's not. But nothing like great. This one was the best one ever. And I didn't try. I'm like, I just said something when you walked in and it got you good.
Still the best one is Nate, though.
Oh, Nate was great. And that was on video. Chris then said,
that was me trying to
scare him. Don't you wish you had it on video? I go, well, yeah, but I wasn't trying to. There was no intention there.
He hit the pole.
Oh, yeah. So we're watching, what is this? Canoe slalom?
Yes. 23
gates. And look, you have to go back through. You just have to slide. Oh, man, it's so intense how they have to do this. Talk about us trying to compete in that. That'd be an epic fail. Oh, did he really get through that one? It's like, I guess any part of you that slides through somehow the two gates, the two
just
poles.
The strength that you need for that.
Yeah, you're fighting against water, trying to stay balanced. So right now, this feels like true Olympics for me. I've got on one TV, canoe slalom, and the other one, Great Britain's playing U.S. in field hockey. To me, some of the intrigue of the Olympics, too, is who came up with these sports? And then, at what point? I mean, I guess maybe to someone like basketball seems like a weird concept, or football, or baseball. But some of these other sports, team handball, like how did they come up with water polo? But we got them, and they're enjoyable.
The one I want them to bring back is tug of war.
Did they? Oh, they had that like in the original Olympics.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, why don't we have that?
Bring back tug of war.
And then you get to the point where, like, to me, it's like, okay, it's simple. Just pull the rope. That's
also, there should be a wipeout or like a ninja warrior. Give us Ninja Warrior Olympics.
I'd like that. That's entertaining to me. So Team USA today in action, day 6, the women in basketball, they've been dominant. That's one of the most dominant things we have going in our Olympics is women's basketball. They've been incredible. They go for their second game today. Also today, we mentioned Katie Ledecky trying to add to her historic medal run. I did see that last night after Katie Ledecky had won. They showed kind of her medal count compared to, and then Phelps is just so far up there. But we said, when you're comparing great Olympians over the years, swimming has an advantage. There's just more competitions. Now, everybody has the same opportunity to compete in, the different distances of the specific strokes, but you can get people that can win 8 medals in an Olympic every 4 years in an Olympic run. So that's pretty incredible. But Phelps is just so far ahead of everybody else. It's really ridiculous. Today, there will be more swimming. There will be gymnastics, and Simone Biles will go for the all-around, and she is, again, one of the main featured stars. When I was thinking about her, Chris, the other day, you know what I thought of when the women were going as a team and the USA women won the Olympic gold? I'm like, my goodness, there was almost multiple cameras dedicated to Simone Biles all time. Like, if she's performing, I get it, but she's sitting down. She's talking to a coach. She's looking up at her face, like every single second. And I think they're all world-class athletes, and any athlete that's on television has some sort of this.
If only Taylor Swift is there watching her.
But I was starting to think that. I go, wait, if we could get the people, and now we're talking about the 0.01% of the 1%. Like, I would say Taylor Swift is a good example. Simone Biles. Caitlin Clark is now in that realm. Probably LeBron, Jordan, Tiger. Like the people that everyone else stops to watch. None of us, nobody out there can relate to that. I think that would be an interesting, I don't know if that's a documentary. if that's a feature piece, but what that is like for that athlete to go through that. Like I think about, we know Doug Christie. So here there was a time where, the Kings, and even now, I know he's out and about in public and gets approached. But we're talking about just another, like, cameras, people outside your house, people trying, like, oh, they're where? I don't even know how that could be. Did you remember hearing stories about, like, Jordan would have to go to the dentist, like, at midnight or the dentist would open up specifically for him off hours because he just couldn't go.
The funny thing with Doug, I remember asking him, I said, hey, how many times do you get asked about punching Rick Fox? He said, every day. And like, you hear it all the time. He goes, no, once a day someone will bring it up to me.
Yeah, and it may not be asking, but it should be like, hey, Doug, can I take a picture? Sure, he's great with his time selfie. Rick Fox! It's like, yeah, it just, but think about that. I think that would be an interesting common thread. Like, what would LeBron, Simone Biles, Michael Phelps, I think, maybe not as much now, but Caitlin Clark that I mentioned, Serena, I don't know, just the people that constantly have fans and or media or a cell phone, somebody trying to get to you.
Well, I was telling you last night, I finished up that docuseries on Pete Rose.
Uh-huh.
And in Cincinnati, that's what it's like.
For
like
him?
Everyone is just, he's got like, whenever he's walking someone, there's like people walking around. I'm like, hey, Pete, how you doing? Hey, Pete, when are you going to get in the Hall of Fame? Hey, Pete, what's your pick on the Sixers versus the Kings?
Yeah. I've always wondered about this too, Chris. At some point, and I'm trying to think of someone, for example, and I don't know, and forgive me if he's still in our community. I think he is. But Pete Chilcutt he was a very good college player, made the NBA, was a member of the Sacramento Kings. So when you've done that, you are featured, you're talked about, people know who you are. There's probably not too far you can go without being bothered. And then, maybe if you're not in the public eye anymore, and he went on, I believe, to be a teacher, if I'm not mistaken. And so I wonder what it's like, not even him. I could use any other example of someone that didn't stay as a coach or didn't go in as a broadcaster, just kind of went on with their life. And I don't want to say disappeared, but disappeared from us. So they were an athlete. They were front facing. We all got a chance to see them, know them, have feelings for them in one way, shape, or form. And then when you kind of go on and you're far enough removed, and do you even have to, maybe there's part of that as a charm. You're like, yeah, I don't get bothered as much anymore. People here, maybe in this community, just, they maybe know who I am, or maybe some don't. And you could just kind of go on and exist as, a regular person in our society. That would be interesting, how that transition would be from people wanting your autograph, people, saying you're the greatest at every moment, to then you're done with your sport. You got out of the sport. You're not in the limelight, and you just kind of blend into society. That would be an interesting exercise to see how that is for some of those athletes. But today, when you're watching the Olympics, again, I think Simone Biles will be one of the featured things today. As far as other events for just this today, men's golf is underway, round 1. Let's see. We've got sailing, tennis, judo. Where else we got? Fencing, swimming, basketball. And we mentioned earlier today we had the men's 20K walk final and the women's 20K walk final. We had rowing, more tennis. So those are your scheduled events for today. Let's give you an update on where we are up to the minute on the Olympic medal count for 2024. I think at last look, USA is still number 1, but still behind as far as overall golds. But if you look at the layout right now, China has the most golds with 11, followed by France, Japan with 8, Australia with 7. U.S. now has 6 golds, tied with Korea and Great Britain. But overall medals, USA leads with 31. They have 13 silver and 12 bronze. All right, break time for us. When we return, we ask the question of who's hot and who's not, and we'll go streaking. That is coming your way next on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Seems as though casual players are always trying to balance the desire to hit the golf ball farther with shooting lower scores. Whether you hit a 270-yard drive or miss a 12-inch putt, they both count a stroke on your scorecard. Some of us will never hit the ball 270 yards, and trying normally leaves us well short and well right of the target. Seems as though improving our putting might be an easier way to shoot better scores. Putting is about confidence. It's about feeling the greens, seeing the line, visualizing the ball going in the hole, and making a confident stroke. Harvey Penick says, never, repeat, never allow yourself to think about what's riding on the putt, whether it's a major championship or just a 50-cent wager. Hit the putt as you've hit 10,000 putts in the past. Concentrate on imitating your final practice stroke, not on what will happen if you either miss it or make it. A positive mind will cure a lot of ills. Think about it. Really, think about it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Blast with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got an unbeatable lineup of shows that you won't want to miss. It's Brett Young and Chase Rice at Thunder Valley on August 3rd. Plus, Jason Mraz and the Super Band will be rocking Thunder Valley on August 9th. Then head out of the heat to higher elevation for the Truckee Music Festival on August 9th and 10th, featuring Kip Moore and Sublime. And here's your Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, don't miss the Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater, featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. On August 15th, catch Donnie Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Then, on August 22nd, Creed Fisher takes the stage at Ace of Spades. And on September 10th, enjoy the timeless sounds of the Doobie Brothers at Toyota Amphitheater. Rounding out this rockin' lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival from September 12th through the 15th, featuring Joe Nichols and Smash Mouth. For information and tickets, visit grapefestival.com. And then stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
There was always a crowd gathered around our dining table when I was growing up. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Everyone was welcome at my mother's table, so holidays, birthdays, and celebrations always included family and friends. I used to think I was the most popular kid in the neighborhood until I realized that my friends were really there for my mother's incredible cooking. Years later, when I bought my own dining table from Naturewood, I made sure it was large enough to make friends feel welcome. And right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings' Dine in Style sale, you have an opportunity to find the perfect dining room furniture to help you create your own treasured memories. Choose from casual to formal or anything in between. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings during the Dine in Style sale off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
All right, let's ask that question. You heard it. Who is hot?
Katie Ledecky.
Yeah.
She won the 1,500 meter freestyle with an Olympic record, 15 minutes, 30 seconds, and 30.02 seconds.
Okay.
If you're wondering how long that is, it's about the time for Jason to finish a Chinese food lunch.
Yes. Leftovers.
She beat second place silver medal winner, French swimmer Anastasia Kirpichnikova.
Nice.
We'll just go with that.
Yeah, I believe you.
She beat her by 10 seconds. And it was also an Olympic record and the 8th fastest 1,500 meter women's of all time.
Incredible.
You know who has the world record?
Katie Ledecky.
Katie Ledecky.
Yeah. And probably all those others.
Let's check.
Yeah,
Let me check real quick.
Check out those others.
Okay, I'm looking at the top 20 times. Pick a number between 1 and 20.
Okay, this is the women's 1,500?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to guess 11.
11 is Katie Ledecky.
Oh, okay. Well, that one. Let me try a different one. 4.
4 is Katie Ledecky.
17.
Oh, this is interesting. Katie Ledecky. She's got the 20 fastest times of all time.
I know she would.
I kind of want. They've got like there's the technology to put like some sort of hologram or light or something that she could chase, where like the whole pool can be her different times and her going against it. Right?
I know that would be kind of cool. Katie Ledecky in lane 1. Katie Ledecky in lane 2. Katie Ledecky from her swim in 2023 in lane 3. Yeah.
I would go to watch that.
If
like people talk about like, oh, let's see the hologram of Tupac.
Yeah.
I want to see hologram Katie Ledecky race Katie Ledecky.
That's actually a great idea. And someday we'll probably have that technology. And think about that for training. It's like you're behind pace, but I'm ahead of the pace from the 2024 Olympics, but I'm behind from this World Championship. That's pretty cool. That's a good idea. Let's get that in the pool. Like, look, it was more interesting than the race, besides, Katie Ledecky's actual performance, but there was no race. She was just blowing everybody out. Winning by 10 seconds is an eternity in swimming. And then you get those shorter races. There was one last night. I think it was obviously up and back. It was the men's 100 freestyle. Maybe the women's was even worse. It was from first to 8.
10 seconds. That's how long 10 seconds was from when you said
right there.
10 seconds is an eternity.
Yeah. Well, and even I think about like like our Sam interview was like Katie's race. It's just crazy. Maybe it was a little bit longer than that, but like it is incredible what she's able to do. But I think it was the women's 100 freestyle that the difference from first to 8th, which was technically last, was fractions of a second. It's like, man, it's just the touch of the wall. All right, so Katie Ledecky is hot. She could get another medal today. Who is not?
Steph Curry.
Uh-oh.
In the U.S.'s 103-86 win over South Sudan, Curry finished the night with only 3 points, shooting 1 of 9 from the field and 0 of 6 from 3.
Does that fall into any part of Steve Kerr's conspiracy with the Celtics? Lull them to sleep or something? That like he's playing with the Boston guys and they'll go, yeah,
I think
play him.
I think it's more for the league. Like, Steph is washed.
Steph is washed. Yeah, I don't think of that. I don't think that.
But I'm smart enough to know that he is washed.
Oh, you're already ahead of it. It's like I don't need people to tell me that. I already know. What has he done lately, right? So that is who's hot and who's not. Want to remind you what's coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. We will have Niners at 9, right, to lead things off. Also, this day in sports history, celebrity birthdays, a little crosstalk coming up with Styles and Watkins. That is all in our final hour. But before we get there, let's go here. It is time to go streaking.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing? We're streaking.
All right, let's see if we are streaking. Carmichael Dave was at 1. He did not submit an entry yesterday. The vacation is getting the best of him, and that's
is yet to send one today.
Huh. Well, Sam, he talked to Sam. He talked to other people in this building. We got confirmation of that. He's not talking to us at the moment. I'm at 1. Chris is at 2. He's the show leader. Speaking of show and show leader, I'm going to go Shohei Ohtani. That's who I picked yesterday as my pick to go streaking. I was trying to get to 2. I was at 1. I go to Shohei Ohtani. That's a good way to get a hit. And the Dodgers were playing the Padres. That was an 8-1 final for the Padres. The Dodgers had 3 hits. That's it as a team. Shohei Ohtani had a walk, 3 other plate appearances. He went 0 for 3. You're not going to play it because I don't have a streak?
No, you only had 1.
So that is over. I'm starting anew. Again, Dave is at 1. Chris was at 2, trying to get to 3. And you fell for the hype as far as Jackson Holiday because he was 2 for 34 with 18 strikeouts, but had worked his way back up from AAA.
Even more importantly, every time I have picked Jackson Holiday or streaking, he has got a hit.
Which is pretty amazing. And we had seen and followed his first couple of plate appearances. He did not get a hit. He ended up with 5 plate appearances. His team got 12 hits total.
Did Jackson Holiday get one of those hits?
Holiday drills it. Right field. Down the line. Grand slam. The happiest of holidays.
Grand slam.
Can I pick Holiday again?
Under the rules, you cannot. But I will tell you, as a streak of 3 today, very few games, Chris. We only have 5 total games, 10 teams in action. But I will tell you, as you think of who you're going to pick, I am going to pick Jackson Holiday, just because I need to hear that again. So I'm at 0. I can pick from anybody that's playing. Orioles are playing the Guardians. Royals are playing the Tigers. Marlins, Braves, Cardinals, Cubs, and Rockies, Angels. But yes, I am taking Jackson Holiday.
I'm going to take Bobby Witt.
Bobby Witt Jr. All right. We're running out of time as to whether or not we can get a really long streak going. But Chris is at 3. I'm at 0. Dave's at 1. Jackson. Pretty good work. First hit as a callback up. Third hit as a pro. First home run, a grand slam. The only thing I don't like about that, I like him. The Yankees are still trying to catch him. Yankees won again yesterday. That's 5 in a row. They're a half game back of the Orioles.
But I thought they were going to run away with the AL East.
Well, it's still time to run away with the AL East. But not against Jackson Holiday. Hey, they're 7 up on the Red Sox. 9 up on the Rays. 14.5 up on the Jays. They just happen to be running against the Orioles, who are pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. The Guardians still have the best record in the American League, followed by the Orioles, and then the Yankees right behind that. Best record in the National League still belongs to the Phillies, even after the Yankees swept them. Then it's the Dodgers and the Brewers. As far as the Giants go, we mentioned that earlier. They got the win yesterday over the A's, 1-0. Logan Webb was great. First complete game for a Giant this year, his second career shutout. Giants now, after that 4-1 homestand or 5-1 homestand, they are 4.5 back in the wild card race. The Diamondbacks, Padres, and Braves currently in those wild card spots. All right, so final hour of the show coming up. In this final hour straight ahead, like we said, we will get to wrap things up with some celebrity birthdays for this August 1st and some crosstalk, what to watch in this date in sports history. And from the NFL, we've been talking about this list for a couple days now. NFL.com has released their top, well, now we're 90. Their final 10 are still going to be released. We'll try to rank out the last 10 of the remaining players that we trying to crack the code, and which Niners players showed up in that top 100, including this last part of the list. Someone else in from 11 to 20. We'll discuss that and more. Niners at 9 coming up on Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Farmerly, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPfest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sacktown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Tell me why. Chris, where did you see that comment that you were telling me during the break?
YouTube.
On our YouTube page. And we appreciate all of you that are out there. Let's see. Is it way back up there?
It's pretty recent.
Why am I missing it? Yeah, I don't see it. That's weird. It's not on my YouTube page.
Huh. Maybe they deleted it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I literally don't see it. I think you were, well, I assume you were making fun, but they were not enjoying the joke of you suggesting that Steph Curry was washed.
Yeah, it's just a joke.
Yeah, from a Warrior fan.
He's been washed.
What was the
if the Warriors could trade Curry for Fox straight up right now, they would.
That's what you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And maybe they would. And maybe they should. Welcome back into the show. Final hour, Jason Ross, Christopher Laud, Carmichael Dave on vacation. If you missed it, we talked sports business.
Good at business.
With Kelly Brothers. He joined us at 7:30. We discussed all things Olympics, mainly.
I know I'm shamelessly pumping the poll here.
Yeah, with that guy, Sam Amick. That was a lot of fun in the 8 o'clock hour. But it is 9 o'clock. That means Niners at 9. And one of the things we covered yesterday in Niners at 9 is the amount of success that the Niners have with players in the top 100 of NFL.com's list of best players. And this is voted on by the NFL players. And we knew the Niners would have people on this list. And that list is pretty impressive of how many players they actually do have there. And we'll go over the ones that we mentioned yesterday from the top 100. Again, this is voted on by their peers. And some have moved up, some have moved down. But it's pretty impressive list that is now all the way up from 100 to 11. So they've worked their way that high up on this list. And if you go from the back end, working our way down, so far the Niners that have been in on this list, we have at number 76, Dre Greenlaw. I believe that's a pretty strong performance. It makes a lot of sense for me, for him being in there. He's kind of the heartbeat, one of the heartbeat guys of this team. At number 66, appearing on this list for the first time, is Brandon Ayuk. Still a contract hold in, I think is what we're officially calling it. And Brandon Ayuk, Brandon Ayuk is a really good player. I think he continues to develop. I do think the Niners will work out the contract with him. But I also think he's the one that if they truly did demand a trade and the Niners went through with that and got something in return, I think there would be expectations of Ayuk joining another team that if he had a marginal quarterback, I would wonder about him. If he went to a team with a great quarterback, I think he'd be just fine. But I don't know that I don't put Brandon Ayuk in that same realm of receivers like Justin Jefferson, who's just a great route runner, athlete, catches everything, speed, size, route running. Like he's the total combination. CD Lamb, I think, is very good. Like Keenan Allen's done it so well for years. Ayuk's very good. And other people are ranked higher. And I think it's a year-to-year thing, whether it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, other guys that get attention as being the featured receivers of their team. I guess my question would be is if Brandon Ayuk was a featured offensive performer on our team, I think he'd be good. I don't know if we'd consider him one of the best. But on this team, he's part of the featured class. I think he's a top 100 player. And there he is, Brandon Ayuk at 66. Other players to know about for the 49ers that have made an appearance. You got Deebo Samuel. They have placed him, according to his peers, at number 30. Deebo, the versatile offensive player, runner, so difficult to tackle, violent runner. And he's just been a good 49er. I think they could use him in returns a little bit more. I get why they protect him. He's been injured at times. Nothing that I would call him injury plagued. Look, it's a violent sport, but he misses a game or two every once in a while. So Deebo Samuel showed up at number 30. Brock Purdy showed up at number 28. And I could just imagine a lot of people thought that could have been deemed controversial. I don't think so. A little bit like other quarterbacks that have jumped in. I mentioned this earlier with the Hall of Fame game going on tonight with the Texans playing the Bears. Upset that the Bears aren't playing their rookie, but we'll have to wait on him. But that's okay. I think the number one pick, they got to protect him. They're not going to play their starters, they said, so we wait on Caleb. But as far as Brock Purdy, I'd like to see, or I was going to compare him to C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud has been pretty high on this list. He had an amazing rookie year. That's the only thing we have to go by. But I think you start to really cement yourself amongst your peers when you do it for multiple seasons. So Brock Purdy has only had opportunities to play, a season plus, but he helped lead the 49ers to an NFC championship game, helped lead them then the next year to the Super Bowl, and he's been really good. So putting him at 28, I think it was a good testament to him and the work he's put in and the Niners around him. And then at 27, we find Nick Bosa, who was a drop from, I want to say, like 4th down to 27. So that was the list up through yesterday from 100 through 21. So you saw Greenlaw, Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Purdy, and Bosa. Now, what was interesting is who was left, because we hadn't heard from Christian McCaffrey. We hadn't heard from Trent Williams. We hadn't heard from George Kittle. And we hadn't heard the name Fred Warner announced just yet. Well, that was until yesterday for some of those. Let's tell you what the NFL.com's list of top 100 players as voted on by their peers. Let's go 20 through 11. The top 10 will be released on NFL.com on a show, I believe that's Saturday. So here we go. From 20 to 11, see what you agree with and disagree with. At number 20, a rookie season played wise beyond his years, leads us to C.J. Stroud, who they put at 20. I personally believe that's a little high. He was great in year one, though. We'll see what he does in year two. Roquan Smith of the Baltimore Ravens, they place at 19, the linebacker for them. I mentioned him just a few moments ago, wide receiver, just an absolute stud. Justin Jefferson only played, I think, 9 or 10 games last year because of the injury, but just a stud. Micah Parsons, he's down a few spots to number 17, Cowboys linebacker. His teammate, Dak Prescott, appearing at 16. This is his highest appearance on the top 100. Again, this is voted on by your peers. Jalen Hurts, little conference battle, is one spot better at 15. And then our next 49ers. So we have 4 49ers remaining in the top 15. But at 14, there's the next one. George Kittle. Kittle earned his second All-Pro honor in 2023 after producing 65 receptions and 1,020 yards, also 6 touchdowns, continuing his historic pass-catching pace within the position. He has 6,274 career receiving yards, second only to Travis Kelce among tight ends since 2017. So he's got great energy, can be felt on the field and from the sidelines too, making him an irreplaceable figure on one of the league's perennial contenders. So George Kittle was 19 a year ago, now at number 14. Wide receiver from the Dallas Cowboys, CD Lamb. is up 21 spots to number 13. Down 4 spots to number 12 is Josh Allen. And then still 3 49ers left. But at number 11, it's down to 2 because Fred Warner shows up. He's up 4 spots. Warner enjoyed his most impactful season, setting career highs in interceptions with 4, passes defended with 11, forced fumbles with 4, and 130 tackles. He's the highest ranked off-ball linebacker in this year's top 100 and earns his highest ranking among his 5 straight appearances in the top 100. It's no coincidence. The Niners defense has been a perennial powerhouse during that span, having won 2 NFC championships since 2019. Warner's play-busting presence looms for ball carriers and would-be pass catchers across the middle third of the field. He's dominant in primetime performances against the Cowboys week 5, where he had 8 tackles, an interception, a sack, and a forced fumble. Perfectly displayed the consequences offenses face against the 3-time All-Pro. So, there you go. There is the list from 100 to 11. The top 10 remains to be announced, but to recap it for the Niners, Greenlaw at 76, Ayuk at 66, Debo at 30, Purdy at 28, Bosa at 27, Kittle at 14, Fred Warner at 11, and there's still 2 more to go. So we will get into the top 10 in a few moments, but that is part of why the 49ers are so good. Look, they've got great talent, good coaching, a winning organization, and they've been able to acquire and or pay and keep these players for the most part. And while they're still under this generous portion of the schedule or of the contract of Brock Purdy, they got to take advantage of that. And really, to me, needs to end up with a championship. And this would be the year before Brock Purdy ultimately starts to get paid a way more north figure salary. I mean, this is going to be something that's going to be out of bounds for him when he becomes available for that. So there you go. There is part of the top 100. Now, here's the mystery. Here's what's left. The top 10. So when we come back, we've got the 10 players that haven't been listed unless they somehow are out of the top 100, which I'm certain they're not. We will try to successfully rank the top 100 remaining players in the NFL. We'll see how we do. We'll see what your opinion is on that. This according to NFL.com and the NFL players voting on their peers. We'll tell you who the last 10 are, and we'll rank them ourselves. We'll do that next.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
When your game goes bad, getting back to basics is the quickest way to get on track. Many problems can be traced to forgetting the first lessons a good golf instructor covers: grip, alignment, and posture. If you're not holding the club properly, if you're not aligned to the target, and if you're not in an athletic posture when you take the club back, you'll have to manipulate it somehow to get it back square to the target. That's when bad things happen. When I find myself leaving shots out to the right, I check my grip on the club. I check to see that I'm holding the club lightly in my fingers and that my hands are close together. Check to see that the V's formed by my thumbs and forefingers point to my right shoulder. Take a practice swing and feel as though the hands are working together and turning over naturally through the impact area. Bad alignment makes a good shot go astray, and bad posture makes it difficult to generate club head speed. If you're having similar problems, a brush up with a PGA professional will get you going again. For Golf to Go, I'm Frank LaRosa.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Debo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories. Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
Jason Ross, Chris Ralad, continuing here on Sacktown Sports. So at Niners at 9 there, we discussed the San Francisco 49ers that have already appeared in the NFL.com's top 100 players as voted by their peers. Again, just to hit the numbers for you again, Dre Greenlaw's in there at 76, Brandon Ayuk at 66, then you jump all the way to the top 30. Deebo Samuel at 30, Purdy at 28, Bosa at 27, George Kittle at 14, Fred Warner at 11. So to have 7 players in the top 76, and really it's going to be 9 because you have 2 in the top 10 of Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams. So going through the list, here are the 10 that are remaining, and here's the exercise we're going to try to do here, is rank the top 10 remaining players in the NFL from NFL.com's list. So let's go through what they've got. The only offensive lineman is the 49ers' Trent Williams. The only running back is the 49ers' Christian McCaffrey. Defensive pass rushers, you got Chris Jones of the Chiefs, Max Crosby, TJ Watt, and Myles Garrett. The only wide receiver is Tyreek Hill. The only tight end is Travis Kelce. And the 2 quarterbacks are Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes.
If you've been on the American River, it's uphill, it's downhill.
I have been on the American River.
Have you?
And it's uphill and downhill.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I know you were working on your list, Chris, of ranking the top 10. I did during the break, and I feel pretty good. I'm going to survey this again. And I know this is all debatable, and there's a couple spots I felt comfortable putting guys in. Did you get a chance to finish your top 10?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go from 10 to number 1. Who did you place at number 10?
Well, this one, I've been crossing him off, and I'm saying this, and I'm like, oh, he's probably should put him higher, but I've got Chris Jones at number 10.
I have Chris Jones at number 10.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
but it's like, I think I had him at 7,
yeah,
8, and like, oh, no, I can't put him over Max.
Okay. So we both have Chris Jones at number 10. There's no way we're going 10 for 10. I'm sure of it.
No.
Number 9. Who did you have at number 9?
Max Crosby.
Okay. I went with Lamar Jackson.
Oh, this is where we changed
big
wildly.
Big time. Okay. And I didn't want to just fall for the quarterback. I think Lamar's very good, but I also feel like that's the position, like he's coming off a great year. I don't know. I think highly of him. I got him at number 9, with some other guys obviously ahead of him. So, all right, we're already different. Who do you have at number 8?
I have TJ Watt.
Okay. I have Tyreek Hill at number 8.
We are
way
wildly
off.
different.
Okay. We're going to have to go over our list again at the end because it might be easier to do it that way. Number 7 for you?
Myles Garrett.
I went with TJ Watt at number 7, so we weren't too far off on that. Number 6.
I have got Williams from the Niners.
Trent Williams. Okay. I went Max Crosby. So, okay. Number 5, I did go Trent Williams for the Niners. Who did you go 5?
I went Kelce.
Okay. Number 4, I have Travis Kelce.
I have got CMC.
Okay. Number 3, I have Myles Garrett.
Tyreek Hill.
Okay. Oh, wow. You went 2-1 QB. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I have CMC.
Number 2, I have Patrick. No.
So we're
Lamar Jackson.
So we're the same at 1 and 10, and number 1, I have Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
So the Niners have 2 in the top 10. The Chiefs, the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions, have 3 in the top 10. So read yours again.
And like, really, you could almost put Hill in there too.
Yeah, you're right, because he was there for a while. I'm not entirely sure Tyreek Hill is the best receiver. I mean, he's. I'm going off the list that was remaining. I don't know if this would be my top 10. It's a great group. A lot of love for pass rushers for sure.
I think Tyreek Hill can make a good quarterback great and a great quarterback incredible.
I agree with that. I'm trying to think. I mean, it's probably not fair, but like, well, Devontae Adams, I think, had played with a great quarterback, then went to the Raiders. I still think he's really, really good. But like, if Tyreek Hill was on the Raiders last year, I think he kind of has that year.
Yeah, and Devontae Adams was like the guy.
Yes, by far. So my list 10-1 was Chris Jones, Lamar Jackson. These are what was left on the NFL's top 100. I was Chris Jones, Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill, TJ Watt at 7, Max Crosby at 6, Trent Williams at 5, Travis Kelce at 4, Myles Garrett at 3. I maybe have him too high. CMC at 2. I'm just such a huge fan of him. And then, Patrick Mahomes is number 1. So what was your 10-1 again?
Mine is Chris Jones, number 10, Max Crosby, number 9, TJ Watt, 8, Myles Garrett, 7, Trent Williams, 6, Travis Kelce, 5, CMC, 4, Tyreek Hill, 3, Lamar Jackson, 2, Patrick Mahomes, 1.
So, yeah, I mean, we're not far off. We have 10-1 the same. Lamar Jackson would be one of our bigger ones, 9-2. And I think, where did you have Myles Garrett?
7.
7-3 is about our biggest differences. But pretty good list. And again, this is voted by the peer. Mahomes was 1 last year. He's 1 again, right?
And here's the thing. If someone put like Trent Williams 1, I wouldn't have a problem with that. These players are all incredible.
Yeah. And quarterback's going to naturally get more love. But what's interesting is Chris Jones, Crosby, Watt, and Garrett all basically play like edge rusher. I mean, maybe not Chris Jones. He's more in the middle. But how do you separate those 3? I mean, those 3 are more comparable than comparing Patrick Mahomes to Trent Williams. Like, how do you compare an offensive lineman to a quarterback? But that's the list. What do you think?
Tell us how badly we did.
Yeah. You know what was interesting? I'm going to find this top 100 from a year ago, because this is my point, is how quickly it changes. So, with the exception of Patrick Mahomes, here was the NFL list top 100 of last year. So I could do the top 10. Chris Jones was 10. So we both had him there. Micah Parsons was 9. Josh Allen was 8. Tyreek Hill was 7. Joe Burrow was 6. Travis Kelce was 5. Nick Bosa was 4. Jalen Hurts 3. Justin Jefferson 2. And Patrick Mahomes number 1.
It's tough with Burrow, like not even in the top 10 when he got hurt.
So 3, 4, 5, 6 players from last year's top 10 are not in the top 10 this year. And I think that's football. Whereas basketball, for the most part, what was basketball? I'm going to look up basketball's top 10 from a year ago and see if we would think that would be any different this year. Because that kind of stays relatively consistent. But to have 6 players out there, let's see, count down to the top 20, 30 players. Okay. This was from USA Today last year. Their top 10 in the NBA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 10. He'll be in there for sure. Devin Booker, I think he's on the fringe.
Oh, Devin Booker has been having the best time at the Olympics.
He has. Yeah. What was the video he sent me yesterday?
Tim Robinson.
Yes.
One of my favorites. He's the one just below Will Forte is my favorite comedic actors. And the other day, he saw someone in a Booker jersey walking around France, and he went up to him and gave him some shoes.
Booker did?
Yeah, he gave him his shoes.
That's awesome. Here's basketball's top 10 from this last season. Joker, Giannis, Embiid, Tatum, Curry, Luka, LeBron, Durant, Booker, and SGA. I think that list is going to look very, very similar this season.
I think Luka's got a chance to be number 1 in the next one.
He does.
We're talking about weight-wise, right?
We're not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't know where you'd be.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably top 5.
Top 5. But that shows you kind of the difference in the sports. Football does change year to year. Look, fantasy changes. That's the one thing. I know we'll start talking fantasy football here in the coming weeks. That always surprises me as who people are suggesting to take in NFL fantasy football, because that is on projections and also off the year you had before. But I feel like that one, I don't know how you feel about it, Chris. Like if I took a player last year that I probably stole because of their performance, but I got them in like the 6th round or 7th round. They were one of my best players. And then the next year they're in the 1st round. I'm like, oh, I don't want them in the 1st round.
Yeah.
Like I got them in the 7th. Like I just get weirded out about that. But I drafted well the year before on that player, but now it's like, no, that's too high.
I tend to do that though too.
Yeah.
I'll like take people high. Like Patrick Mahomes, I'll get in the first round. Everyone's like, "You're so stupid getting him in the first round," and then I win the league.
Wow. I have not looked at anything fantasy football yet. So my goodness. I know it's different. I know you have to look at running backs differently. It just depends on your scoring. That's the most important thing. Know your league, know your scoring, because if quarterbacks are worth more or do certain things, they're going to rate higher than a lot of these leagues. Okay, 1, 2. From the list, and granted, there's not that many skill players on there, but Chris, we just did the top 10 list. There are 2 players from the top 10 list in fantasy in the top 10. Wow. And someone that's ranked 66th in Brandon Ayuk is listed as 16th in fantasy. Here's your, according to the list.
That makes sense. You got to get rid of all the defensive players.
That's true. Here is the top 15 in fantasy football rankings that I'm looking at right now. So I haven't looked at this yet. So this surprises me a little bit. Garrett Wilson of the Jets is at 15, receiver. Marvin Harrison Jr., the rookie from Arizona, is 14th. Jahmyr Gibbs, running back from Detroit, 13th. Jonathan Taylor, 12th. Saquon Barkley now with the Eagles, 11th. Here's your top 10. Puka Nacua, who I'm sure was either undrafted.
Oh, he's definitely undrafted in mine.
And now you're going, I have to get him in the first round. Wow. A.J. Brown, Bijan Robinson of the Falcons at 8. Breece Hall from the Jets. That was like the steal late in the rounds. At 7. Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Lions at 6. Justin Jefferson, 5. Jamar Chase, 4. Tyreek Hill, 3. CeeDee Lamb, 2. And Christian McCaffrey. But they don't rank quarterbacks. It's just they say, wait. I don't subscribe to that same theory because, yeah, you could get Dak, but if you can get Patrick Mahomes, get him. You don't have to get him in the first round, but get him.
Yeah, like if you have the first pick, don't pick Patrick Mahomes. But if you're like 8th or 9th, that's perfect.
Exactly. Then wrap around and get a good running back or receiver. All right, break time for us. When we return, what's coming up today, what things you need to watch, including the Hall of Fame game, which can be heard right here on Sacktown Sports. We got football tonight, the Olympics, what this day in sports history, all that and more. Straight ahead on Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Deebo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Hey there, Jason Ross here to tell you about my friend down there in Sacramento, right in downtown, and that's Jonathan Gonzalez at SacLegalDefense.com. It's a name I want you to know. It's a name I trust, and I think you should trust as well. Now, you don't want to be in a situation where something happens to you and you feel like, man, I could use some legal help here, but I don't know who to call. That's why I'm telling you about Jonathan Gonzalez at SacLegalDefense.com, and the number is 916-304-9187. So you want someone to be on your behalf, someone that's got your best interests, someone that you can trust. There are literally television commercials all over the place about law firms and 1-800 numbers and people that claim to be local and in your community. They're not. You can go to every city in the country and you say, hey, I've seen them before. Wait, they're not even in Sacramento. Yeah, they may have a number that you can reach to, but you're not going to get to that person that you see on TV. That's just not the way it works. But you can get to Jonathan Gonzalez and his team down there, right down in downtown Sacramento. Offices here in our community, and he's here to help. Now, why might you need him? Well, I don't know, but there are situations out there. Maybe something happened in your past when you were younger and you want to move on from it, but it's followed you. The track record, and it's like, something I wish just I didn't have to tell about or report about because it was so many years ago and everything is different and I'm good and nothing happened there. Well, they do expungements. You want to move on from that on your track record. Maybe there was an auto accident and you think, I could use a little representation here, or wrongful termination. Whatever the case may be, the guy you need to talk to is Jonathan Gonzalez and the team there at the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. Again, the number is 916-304-9187. You go to SacLegalDefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
If you've been on the American River, it's uphill, it's downhill. There's trails everywhere that you can walk, and it just makes you happy. And I couldn't walk, and it was terrible. I was turning into a real crab. I went to the Good Feet store, and I tried on the arch supports. I could not believe that I was not in pain. I can walk, I can run, I can jump, I can do anything. My name's Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
There was always a crowd gathered around our dining table when I was growing up. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Everyone was welcome at my mother's table, so holidays, birthdays, and celebrations always included family and friends. I used to think I was the most popular kid in the neighborhood until I realized that my friends were really there for my mother's incredible cooking. Years later, when I bought my own dining table from Naturewood, I made sure it was large enough to make friends feel welcome. And right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings Dine in Style sale, you have an opportunity to find the perfect dining room furniture to help you create your own treasured memories. Choose from casual to formal or anything in between. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings during the Dine in Style sale off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Found out during the break, we reenacted the unintentional scaring of Christopher Lott for Simone. She appreciated that. She was in a movie, she said?
I am very upset with her.
Because you're just finding this out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since my favorite movies are horror movies.
Yeah, and she said she was in a horror movie and she died early. She goes, yeah, figures. But I now need to see that movie.
How am I not in that movie?
This would have been good for Simone to play Two Truths and a Lie.
Yeah.
Because I was once killed in a horror movie. I'm like, okay, that's a lie. She could have got us. Or maybe she's lying to us now.
If you're wondering how big of a fan I am of horror movies, just earlier today, a friend of mine texted me like one of those, how many movies have you seen of these? It's like The Exorcist, Paranormal Activities, Let the Right One In. So it's just a list of all of those movies.
Are there how many would you say?
There are 52 movies on here.
I would say that's too much to list. But do you think I have seen more than 5?
5 would be close. I don't think so.
All right, let's do it. We got time. We got time. I want to see if I've seen. The number is 5. Just for reference, how many are you at?
43.
43 of the 52. So I want to know the 9 that you didn't see. And it would be truly amazing if I have. Is there any chance?
Absolutely not.
That I've seen one of the 9 you haven't?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, we'll see.
Yes, there is one that you might have.
Okay, we'll see when we get there. All right. I'm going to see of the 52 how many I'm at.
The Exorcist.
No.
Are we making a list of these?
Well, it's easy to count for me how many I've seen. And I am not a fan of horror movies.
Paranormal Activity.
No.
Let the Right One In.
Don't even know what that is.
A Quiet Place.
Yes, 1.
Suspiria.
No.
The Invisible Man.
I don't think so.
The Orphanage.
Nope.
Oh, dang it. No, I have to
go back and look at The Invisible Man, because when you're saying that, is that recent?
I think it's the older one. Ooh, it could be the
From 2020, no, but
then I have seen that. What did I say? I was thinking it was like because there's like an older one that I haven't seen.
I'm gonna go with no for me, yes for you then. So I'm still at 1.
Okay. We did The Orphanage. Gerald's Game.
No.
Night of the Living Dead.
Nope.
Session 9.
No.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
Blair Witch Project.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm at 2. That scared me. And it wasn't real, correct?
No.
Okay.
The Strangers.
Nope.
Train to Busan.
No.
Okay. The Conjuring.
No.
So you are currently at
I'm at 2.
2 yes.
Quiet Place and
10 no.
Blair Witch.
The Evil Dead.
Nope.
The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
No.
The Omen.
Wait a minute. Is that with Gregory Peck?
Yes.
Yes, I have seen that.
Wow, good for you.
I'm at 3, but I've not seen the one with Simone in it.
The Cabin in the Woods. She couldn't hear you because my mic is on.
Okay. The Cabin in the Woods. That was just recently, wasn't it?
Yes.
I wanted
Chris
to see
Hemsworth is in it.
Yeah, I did not see that. I kind of wanted to see that, but
It's
I'm
a fun
3.
movie.
Okay.
The Wailing.
No.
And A Tale of Two Sisters.
No.
The Fly.
The one with Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
That's okay.
The Babadook.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's great. Black Christmas.
Nope. So I'm at 4.
Okay, so this is the one I think that you might have seen that I have not seen.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
An American Werewolf in London.
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's just because it's an older movie that I just haven't
got
around to.
I remember seeing, okay. So I'm at 5.
Yeah. Rosemary's Baby.
I didn't see that.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You know what? I feel like I saw that. I think as a kid I don't know that I can say that with certainty, but I really feel like I saw that. So I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Hereditary.
No.
One of my favorite movies. The Shining.
Yes. Oh, I'm at 7. I'm on a roll.
Sinister.
Nope.
Fantastic movie. You might have seen this one. Carrie.
No.
It Follows.
Nope.
Halloween.
I'm guessing the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
The Ring.
Nope.
Saw.
Nope. I didn't see Saw.
You didn't see Saw?
No, see Saw.
Psycho.
Yes.
Wow. Alien. Oh, you have to have seen
I've
this.
seen Alien.
The Descent.
Nope.
Maybe the loudest I've screamed.
Okay.
28 Days Later.
Nope.
The Witch.
Nope.
Insidious.
Nope.
Audition.
Nope.
Ooh, freaky movie. Scream.
Yeah.
Ooh. The Thing.
Kurt
Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Antarctica.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're in the Arctic. Yeah.
It.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
Mm-mm.
Host.
Nope.
You didn't see it?
Nope.
Oh. Jaws.
Yes.
Poltergeist.
Yes.
Candyman.
Yes.
On a roll.
Yeah.
Smile.
No.
Get Out.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, come on. Yes.
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
See, you did better than you thought.
A lot better. That was it?
That's it.
But so I'm at Quiet Place, Blair Witch, Omen, Fly, American Werewolf in London, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What is that writing there? I don't even know what that says. It looks like it says The Sting, but that can't be it.
So what was that after you said?
Oh, The Shining.
The Shining.
Halloween, Psycho, Alien, Scream, The Thing, Jaws, Poltergeist. Now again, another chicken scratch I can't read. Something that started with a C. After Poltergeist and before Get Out.
Carrie?
No. It was like 3 in a row. I saw Jaws, Poltergeist. What was after that?
Candyman.
Get Out. Silence of the Lambs, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Can't believe they didn't have Joyride on here.
Oh.
It's with
They're
our
way
guy,
better. I said only 5 of the 52. I did a lot more than I thought.
Joyride with our guy Paul Walker and Steve Zahn.
Oh, wow. I like Steve Zahn.
I know you love Steve Zahn.
Saving Silverman.
Here's your ferocious beast. Hello.
I don't think some of those are scary movies. Do you?
Well, horror it covers like a whole genre because like Aliens, you think of that as a sci-fi movie, right?
Right, correct.
But I mean, you're
And
still
Flies like that a little bit.
You're still in a dark room and something's trying to catch you and eat you.
Yeah. Okay. But
Like
some
Jaws,
of them,
you don't consider a horror
Not at
movie,
all.
but that's like that is a horror movie.
But a lot of people were traumatized by that when they watched it. Wouldn't go in the water because of that. We need a bigger boat. I just saw that. That was on the other day. Just watched it again, probably 3 or 4 days ago.
Oh yeah, that's like
It's an easy rewatch.
4th of July.
Yeah.
Like have to watch.
Easy rewatch. All right. Well, I did better on that, and you've seen all but 9.
I actually think I've seen more than that.
But I was proud that I got.
Because like I didn't
one.
count The Invisible Man, but then you said 2020. I'm like, oh yeah.
I was proud that I got the one that you haven't seen, American Werewolf in London. All right.
And I called it. I knew that was going to be the one.
That was the one. What to watch tonight? Well, any of those horror movies or all of them, if you'd like. The Hall of Fame game, Texans versus the Bears. That's going on. We got more of the Olympics. Team USA right now is playing in 3-on-3 for the women. We got Team USA women's basketball in the hard court a little bit later. Simone Biles goes for all-around gold. That's to check out on this date in sports history, August 1st, 1978. Pete Rose goes hitless, snapping his 44-game hitting streak. You showed me a pretty good clip from Pete Rose earlier.
If you want to watch like a liar constantly get caught in his lies, watch the Pete Rose documentary on Max.
I wonder how he feels about
so
this.
So they just went over him snapping his 44-game hit streak. He's like livid because they were destroying whoever they were playing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, it's my last at bat. And if I walked out there without a bet, he still would have walked me. And it shows him getting struck out. And it's just like, strike out swing. He's like, okay, calm down, Pete.
Yeah, and that didn't happen the way you said it did. Wow. August 1st, 2002. So overall, would you suggest the Pete Rose documentary? Is it a good watch?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Is it a horror movie?
Sort of. Like going in watching it, I was of the, you know what, he did a bad thing and I don't know if he should be in the Hall of Fame or not. Now watching it, it's like, oh, he's a scumbag. But at the same time, they let a lot of scumbags in, so maybe he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah?
Yeah, he is not a good person.
I got to bring this up because let me give you a couple of things in sports history and then get back to this thing from the YouTube for sure. August 1st, 2002, the Baltimore Ravens signed Ray Lewis to a 5-year contract with the largest signing bonus at the time ever, $19 million. And then August 1st, 2014, this was awful. I remember this. Paul George suffers gruesome leg injury, a compound fracture in the Team USA scrimmage.
Oh, that was gross.
I remember that's one of those. I remember where I was. My brother called me. He's like, oh my gosh, you see what happened to Paul George? If you haven't, don't watch it. So I've never seen it. I've seen the play, like him going to it and then kind of like everybody grabbing him and taking him off the floor. But I don't need to see that.
You know what? I will say see it.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
Who was that happened very closely to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, something Kevin Ware.
Yeah, that was like,
I saw that live when it happened. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I could tell, like, I saw the leg. Yeah, the compound fracture.
I think that was like the same year, right?
It was very close.
Yeah.
You're right.
I wanted to say like it's August 1st, so it wasn't, but it felt like to me like, they were a month apart.
Chris, I've got to share this with you. We already now know somehow that Simone was in a horror movie. She hid this from us. But Sean writes on our YouTube, I'm a part-time screenwriter and working on a couple of horror movies right now. If we get to production, I'll make sure Chris gets a role.
Yes. And this is not a lie. I've said this many times. On my bucket list is to be killed in a horror movie.
Well, this is what he lists out. Sean lists out. I should say Shopper number 3, Pedestrian number 7, Looker number 4. I don't know, but we got to get you in there.
Yes.
You want to get killed?
I want to.
Okay. You ready for your part? You know how to act it up?
I got to see what the director wants from me.
Yeah. What's my motivation?
Am I surprised? Did I see this coming? Do I just accept it?
Can I do what I just did in the studio earlier?
Do I do it? I don't think that would be good.
Well, if you're getting killed, it doesn't much matter.
Will I be angry getting killed? Oh, come on.
I wanted to get killed in another way. Oh, my goodness. Well, Sean, if you have extra parts, I'm in too. I'm sure Simone would be. She's a veteran.
So. Jason, incredible actor, especially when we were doing the champ videos.
Thank you, Chris. I have accepted those awards, the champ awards, many times.
I think you walked away with 3 champies that one year.
Yeah, ironically, I couldn't win a game in the real series that was going on, but I was winning acting awards, just not the actual fantasy football championship that you were winning every time. All right, break time for us. When we come back, we'll have the final segment of the day, but we're leading you up to Styles and Watkins. We'll have crosstalk with them and celebrity birthdays. That is all straight ahead here on Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Sacramento, Dirks Bentley's coming to town. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee, Tyler Rich, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by The Scoundrel Red Wine, Naturewood Home Furnishings, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
And now,
here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Wow. They come storming in for crosstalk. Styles and Watkins. Apparently.
So did Tom get lost in there? Or?
Apparently Chris has a weight set in his backpack. You doing some lifting and some training?
Yes, it's Olympic season.
It is Olympic season. How are you guys?
It's girth season.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
Donut season.
That's right.
Yeah.
Weightlifting has to be in the Summer Olympics, yeah?
It is, of course.
Do they just haven't started it yet? Because I haven't seen any of that.
Oh,
That's the only, obviously track and field still, but I haven't seen any weightlifting.
Jason, I had to tell you, I was watching something yesterday, and the women's baseball came up on my feed. Very confusing. Women's baseball is running their essentially their World Baseball Classic during the same times. Remember when I said it's not in the Olympics?
I didn't think it was
they're running it right now. It's definitely on purpose to make people think it is part of the Olympics, but it is not. So I wanted to clear that up with you.
That's weird, though. I mean,
it is
trying to grab the attention, but it's not working.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, just had to let you know.
Watched earlier today canoe slalom. That was intense.
Okay.
And for
those are my favorite.
First time was I hadn't seen field hockey yet, but that was on. I mean, I'd seen it before.
Yeah, field hockey isn't really big on the West Coast, but it's huge back east.
Yeah.
Why can't they get bigger sticks for it? Like, they look like they're going to throw out their back. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's also very interesting how it's only women's.
Yeah.
There's no men's field hockey.
I think they do. I'm pretty sure I saw men's field hockey.
I don't know.
It's very much, I know back east, all the colleges are only women's.
Yeah. I know we have the big three now, and 3-on-3 is, I don't think it's as fun of a watch.
I'm just very confused as to who is playing for Team USA besides Jimmer.
Yeah. Germany currently leads Pool A in the men's field hockey.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Go, Germany.
Yeah.
No.
Alan is such an American.
Yeah.
We're not good at it, so it doesn't exist.
It doesn't matter to me.
I'm in on handball, and I've decided I would be nasty at handball.
Yeah.
I think you would.
It's very important to ask you which handball you're talking about.
Very true.
The one on the court.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Not the one with just the wall like a racquetball?
Yeah.
Like you played maybe great.
No, not that one. Okay. Not that one.
Right. You guys will be on during Simone Biles, I should say. Chasing Olympic dream. It could be.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be a good one, yeah? This is the individual today? Yeah, individual all around. Oh, man.
Right.
Lots of pressure.
This is where it kind of gets a little, not cutthroat, but like you do have to pick one. You know, you got to pick somebody that you're rooting for. I think everyone's, of course, rooting for Simone, but, you know, you can get a Suni Lee win, and it's like,
well, she won last time.
I have to be excited, but
right.
I was kind of rooting for Simone here.
Well, the hard part of that, so they can only per country take two, and it was Simone was one,
Right.
Suni was third, and then fourth overall was Jordan Childs. And
oh, man.
She was just third on U.S. Like by fractions of a point, so she's not in any of them.
She's first for every other country, maybe
Basically.
second. But
Well, who was second for U.S.?
No, that was overall. That was everybody.
Oh,
so
that's right.
Qualify.
That's right.
So
that's
it's like
right.
you can only take two Americans because Jordan should probably be in it because then maybe they could have gone gold medal, silver.
Yeah,
right.
Gold, silver.
Yeah,
bronze.
what's up with that rule?
Yeah, let's change it.
Come on,
because we're good at
It's like the conferences in NBA playoffs. Just have top 16.
Yeah. Right.
Please.
I'm with that. Yeah, with that. What's coming up on the show today, guys?
Oh, Jason.
Oh, Jason. You
Can
just had to ask.
Can I interest you 11 a.m. in a Julius Randle?
She just fell on her face.
Rumor?
Julius Randle fell on her face?
No, Suni Lee just fell right on her face. Granted,
this
this
is
is our
practicing,
practices, but she just
And they just bounced right
just
back
let
up.
go of that bar and she face planted
Yeah.
right on that mat.
Wow.
Yeah. Julius Randle at 11. Would you pay him? Do you want him? Would you pay him? And then we're going over all the NBA futures.
I like that.
Yes.
I know you're going to get into this at 11. The Randall part, I would definitely be intrigued. What's the thought? We talk fit all the time.
Yeah.
Good with Sabonis and Randall?
Alan's been talking to Dave too much.
I've been talking to Dave too much. Yeah, it's a matter of, and we had some texters come in. It's getting the talent in the building and can it fit, right?
Yeah.
We have the good version of getting the talent in the building, and that's the Warriors. And we have the not so good getting the talent in the building, and that's the Phoenix Suns.
Mm-hmm.
So which side do you think it would be closer to?
Though this year, I think the Suns are
Ooh, a little Timberwolves-esque.
Is it the Tyus Jones thing?
all of it. Like,
you
and
enjoy
another year together. A little bit like Dallas. It was like, it didn't work with Kyrie and Luka until it did.
Yeah.
And
That's not good. That's not good, Jason.
what do you mean?
That's another team.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of competition.
That's why I keep telling Chris this whole waiting and patience and flexibility thing. Go now.
Yeah. You want it now.
Speaking of wanting it now, if you want more of these takes, tomorrow, 6 a.m. through next Friday.
What? Wow.
Your boy,
Yeah.
morning, wake up.
You ready for that?
I am very ready.
Yeah.
I'm very ready.
Alan at 6 a.m. That's a
It's
treat.
a lot of
That's
Alan.
a treat. No, that's a treat.
You might need to warn your listeners. I
Yeah.
mean, this is we're coming in hot.
What do you have your plan,
I'm
like your
freaking
wake
jacked.
up time and all that?
I just know, my wake up time and things like that. No, not really. Really, after the show today, I have to go hardcore and lay everything out. My promotional reel comes out and things like that. So it's
When's
a
your
lot.
promotional reel come out, Chris?
Still working on it.
Still
working on
And
it.
then I'm probably going to golf tomorrow after the show.
See, that's the one thing I will say in like Fridays in the off season.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Well, and that's what's so funny because Frankie's, I said, well, of course I have a bunch of free time because, the nanny is still there. And Frankie said, well, why don't you just, tell the nanny, hey, I get on. Why would I do that?
Oh,
Why
you
would I
need
do
some
that?
Allen time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's-
1 or 2 days, but come on.
Come on.
I get these rounds in.
Yeah.
I'm breaking 90 again this week before it's over.
All right. We're going to get out there.
We are.
I keep hearing it.
I don't know when. I've played with you.
You're going to be. Wait,
I watched you play.
Where are you?
Oh, no,
gonna-
wait. We did play together. Yes,
me
I'm
and
sorry.
Are you going to
I'm sorry, I
Hawaii
forgot about
too?
that, yes.
Who else is?
Whitey.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
We travel together.
Wow.
You are going to Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Wow. That could be the greatest flight of all time.
Which
Just like
island?
Dave and Chris traveled on. They ended up on the same cruise. Not planned.
Did
Yeah.
you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
And so those things, it's a big ship. We're not even going to see each other. We saw each other all the time.
Yeah. They just ran into one another.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's do it.
There's so
Oh,
many
yeah. We got to
questions
go.
about
We
that.
got
Gotta
to
go.
give you celebrity birthdays here. Brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies. On this date, in what year was Guardians of the Galaxy released?
Oh, man. The first one? Oh, okay. Quick one. Let's say 2013.
15.
2016.
14 was the correct answer. Air Bud.
Oh, the original Air
Okay,
Bud?
now this one.
All of you watched Air Bud. I know you
What
did.
sport was the first Air Bud?
Basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah.
Wow. 98.
96.
93.
97 was the closest.
Woo!
Or was the answer. Happy birthday today to Madison Bumgarner.
Ah,
Get it out the water.
snot rocket
Yes.
extraordinaire.
Let's see.
That's a
I have
Bumgarner.
no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
he
all
didn't. He went straight out of high school, and then he got in pretty young. So I think he's probably. Is he 40 on the nose?
36.
37.
35 is the correct
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
How about Jason Momoa?
Man, what
Ah.
a heartthrob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
he
saying.
is.
41.
Seen those T-Mobile
Mm.
commercials?
I want to go. I want to go
50.
underwater. 47.
I think Alan was the closest 45. I don't know. I lost it there. All right. That's it for us. Great show coming your way next with Styles and Watkins. Thank you so much for everybody listening right here on Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in this